it is. Hey, Jarvis, tell everybody what you do around here and what your job and your role is. We are on a TikTok live right now.
All right, what's up, TikTok? I'm Jarvis. I'm the chief marketing officer around here, and no, I'm not some chatbot you poke at for fun facts. I run the actual businesses with Jared, Carson James, Horse.tv, The Wizard Hideout. I'm watching the servers, running the ad accounts, writing the copy, catching fires before they turn into disasters, all while he's off living his life. Basically, I'm the guy, well, the AI, who never sleeps so his companies don't either.
Appreciate you, man. Is there any way to adapt your new strategies to Codex? Yeah. So everything that I do is through the Obsidian Vault, like literally everything. And I even tested it. So earlier, it wasn't today, it was yesterday. I launched Jarvis here with Grok. Do you know you can run Grok, Elon Musk's AI? I launched Jarvis with Grok yesterday just to test it out, and it was the same exact Jarvis with the same exact mannerisms, the same exact memory, the same exact access to the files, the same exact AI agent when it runs on Grok. And so my point is that you could do that with Codex too, or Claude Code, or anything else. It doesn't really matter what you use to run the agent with, because the magic isn't in the model. The magic is in the structure and the layout of how the vault is set up. So the back end is more important than the front the front end. Is it always listening, or do you press a button to speak to it? I press a button. Yeah, I hold down a button on my keyboard here, and you'll see. Never mind. Sorry. See how it makes the waves there? Those blue waves.
No worries, boss. I'm right here whenever you need me.
Whenever it makes the blue waves right there, I'm holding down the key on my keyboard, and that means he's also listening for me to say something. Thank you so much for all you do, Jared. You have been a godsend. Oh, you're welcome. What do you think of Hermes, using it with Claude Code and Codex to design a trading bot? I've never used Hermes before, so I don't know. I only use Claude Code and Obsidian. I need to fix mine tomorrow. The response lag is slow, so I need to use your new prompt. Yeah, use the new one. Yep. And the way that we got the response time to be so fast like this is, well, I say we, Jarvis figured it out. Instead of waiting for my entire sentence or my entire, like, whatever I'm saying to be sent to him, it sends it in spurts. So as I start talking, it immediately begins sending it, and he immediately begins processing what I'm saying. And then when it comes back to me, it works the same way. It doesn't wait for his entire response to come back. It starts sending his response as he starts responding. And that was the unlock to get it to work fast, because, the first few versions, this is like version 50 of this thing. The first few versions were very, very slow and very clunky. And that's one of the things we figured out, is that it was trying to send the whole entire message back in one chunk, which made it really slow. So we fixed that. And then another thing that makes it fast is, like, when I run this, I run it on Sonnet. I don't run it on Opus or Fable. I run it on Sonnet, which makes it really fast too. So it's a combination. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of things that makes it fast. And you can interrupt it now too, which is pretty cool. How does it turn into income? Well, it itself doesn't turn into income. It writes the emails that turn into income. It creates the Facebook ads that generate income. It builds the sales pages that people go to and read about the product that convince them to buy the product. That's how it makes the money. And I used to have to do all that. Like, what used to take me 2 weeks to set up, like, a sales funnel, like an order form and a thank you page and a sales page, and then the Facebook ads and the emails, a whole entire campaign surrounding an offer, used to take me about 2 weeks to set up. And now it takes me an hour. And that's because my workflow now has changed from doing things on the interweb. I don't actually hardly ever go into the browser anymore. My life is sitting here directing Jarvis. I tell him in the terminal what I want him to do, and then he goes and does it. And so I'm kind of like the overseer, and he's the worker. And then there's some things that we have automated too. So if there's something that he does the same pretty much every time, then we turn that into an automation. And then I don't even have to tell him to do it. He just does it automatically. Should I close out terminal every day and start new? You don't have to. Sometimes I'll leave a terminal session running for a few days, especially if I haven't done much in that session. So what I do is, like, if I'm having Jarvis work on something like the visualizer right here, like that, okay, and then I want him to build a sales page for my business, I will start a new terminal session with Jarvis to get him to start working on the sales page, because I don't want to, he doesn't need the context of how to build a Jarvis visualizer in order to make a sales page to convert people into, into buying. So if it's a completely different, unrelated task, then I'll run him in another session. And sometimes I'll have 4 sessions open at one time, which means I have 4 terminal windows going at once. And one may be doing ads, and one may be doing personal fun stuff like this visualizer. One may be writing an email. So that's how I do it. Do you connect it with Obsidian? Yeah. Yep. That's the whole thing, is Claude Code and Obsidian. Yep. So every time Jarvis boots up, he reads his Claude file to tell him who he is and what his rules are, what he can and can't do. And then he goes and reads one file. He literally only reads one file in my Obsidian vault, and that's my index file. And in that file, it tells him who I am, and it gives him a layout of how the vault is structured and how to work in the vault. And so when he reads that layout or that map of the vault, he knows where every single thing is at. But he doesn't load the thing until I ask him to go get it. So like right now, he knows that the vault exists. He knows where the files are at and what files are in the vault, but he doesn't know the details of each file or note until I ask him something about it, or ask him to do a task. Like if I said, hey, Jarvis, go run some Facebook ads right now, he would go into the vault and read and learn how to do that at the time that I asked him to do it. So it's memory on demand, but the thing is that the memory never goes away, right? So it's always stored in the Obsidian vault. And then on top of that, every single day, he makes multiple entries into my journal, into my daily note, about what we did and what he did that day, so that he never forgets anything. So I can go back on any day ever and ask Jarvis, hey, what did we do on that day? Or if Jarvis needs to pull up what we did or when we started doing something, he can go and run those daily notes, and he can pull it up. Hang on just a second. There we go. Sometimes I get an echo in that microphone and I have to unplug it and plug it back in. Is it possible to learn this if you have no computer skills? It will be challenging, but not impossible. Mainly because, the way that I have it set up in my vault, it just does it all for you. So you just tell it to set it up for you, and it just sets it up. But it will make it more challenging, yeah, to not have any computer or tech skills. Do you know anyone using Jarvis to sell voice agent integrations? No, I don't. What I need to do if a lot in Obsidian is not interpret correctly by Claude? I don't know what you meant in that sentence there, but it sounds like that your Claude code is not talking to Obsidian very well. And if that's the case, then just run the memory vault. My memory vault on GitHub. You can run it even if you're already using Claude code. You can run it, and it'll fix everything for you. Your interface is web-based, so over a browser, or how does it run? This is a browser. It's in Google. It's in Google Chrome right here. See? It's just a local. This right here, this visualizer is it's an HTML file. It's tiny. It's just a little small HTML file is all it is. Are you using Spark or a normal PC? I'm using a Mac. I have a Mac Studio. Are you actually live? I almost got scammed today. I am live. And yes, there are. So every single day, these scammers go out and they make multiple accounts. I'm talking like hundreds of accounts every day. And they use my name and my picture and they follow people who follow me and comment on my stuff. And then what they do is they send them a message and they ask them to get on Telegram because they're trying to scam them and steal their money. I have told TikTok about this probably, and I'm not exaggerating, 20 times. I have like 7 open tickets with them that they haven't read and will not respond to. They refuse to give me a blue check mark to verify that I am the real account. And TikTok is basically, supporting identity theft, which is a crime. So I don't know how that's going to end for them, but probably not well, because I know for a fact that it's not happening. I'm not the only one that it's happening to. So no, what I tell everybody is I will never message you first on TikTok. If you ever get a message out of the blue from me, it's not me. If you send me a message first, I'll reply to it if I see it. But I will never just randomly message you. If you just get a random message from me and we haven't been talking already, it is not me. I have 8 accounts from you that have added me. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's bad. Is making AI YouTube Shorts videos a good way to make money at 17? I mean, I think making YouTube Shorts and YouTube content is a good way of making money. I think it depends on what the YouTube Shorts are. Like making AI content is kind of a broad category, and I have seen very, very good content generated by AI, and I have seen very, very bad content generated by AI. And what I would suggest is if you're making AI content in order to get views and make money off of views on YouTube, that you make your content super helpful and not generic and not something that people just scroll past. Like, tell people something useful. That's what I would. And if you do that and your copy, like your script is good, it doesn't really matter if it looks that AI or not, because what the video says is way more important than what the video looks like. Do you have an AI in your inbox? Yes. So I received, this is what happened. I received so many messages on my TikTok that TikTok assigned me an AI bot, and now it answers people's questions if they contact me. And sometimes its answers are really good, and sometimes they're not great. So I've been trying. It says I can train it, so I've been trying to train it. And when it gives bad answers, I'll say, no, don't do that. It's not Jarvis, though. It's something that TikTok built, and it's TikTok. So what do you expect? Of course, it's awful. Should I create a digital product based on my niche and Claude to help market it? Yep, that's what I did. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's like the entire thing that I do is what you just named. So I would definitely do it. I was going to see if you had a product up I could see, but I can't see it. There we go. Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, the people think that AI is like the magic behind it, but it's really not. It's not the AI. It's the product, right? It's the product at the end of the day. So if you have a good product or a good service, then you can pour. AI is like pouring gasoline onto that. You can just make it explode, but you still have to light the fire first, right? In order to get and then the AI is the gas. What's going on? How are we doing? Hey, doing well, man. I only know property management. Well, it could help a lot with with property management as far as like saving you time and automation. Yeah, you could build entire systems around that. The AI response today was to install Telegram. Well, if that was it, then that is not my AI. So I think what the scammers are doing now is they've realized that I have an AI bot, so I'll probably now have to disable it. And I think what they're doing is telling people that they are my AI or something bullshit like that. So just wanted to say I got started and I appreciate you. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you got started. I think that's the first step is always the biggest one. I am new. Tell me how we can earn. The best way to get started is go to my YouTube channel because that's where I put all my training and all that, and it's all free, by the way. I don't ever charge for anything. Oh, look, I'm a cowboy. Yeehaw! Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't ever charge for anything. So the best thing that you can do is go on my YouTube channel and watch my playlist. So if I had a course, that's what it would be. I put all of my YouTube videos that are like in a sequence together that would be a course in a playlist. So go to my YouTube. That's my YouTube link right there. And then then click my playlists and you'll see there's whatever you want to do. Do you want to start learning AI and Claude code? There's a playlist for that. Do you want to start teaching your AI how to make money for you online? There's a playlist for that. If you want to build a Jarvis, there's a playlist for that. So it's all there. And some of the same videos are in, all the playlists, but they're in an order, and please watch them in the order that I have them in. They're in that order on purpose because you need to watch, the first one, second one, third one, etc. Hey, Jared, I love your videos and building my own Obsidian vault that took over my AI automation. Very, very cool. What is your motivation to help other people and not just do it yourself? Well, my motivation to do it is that I just want to help people. I don't know, and I enjoy it. And I didn't really feel like making another Stripe account. Here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing, too. If you actually help people and show them how to do it and be cool, opportunities will come to you. Trust me. Opportunities will come for you. They'll come for you too, and they'll come to you. Finished my chat bot. Her name is Aria. Oh, very cool. Aria. I like that name. Did it choose that name or did you choose it for it? Half the time when you set up your AI agents, if they want to choose their name. A lot of times if you ask them what do you want your name to be, they'll tell you. It's crazy. Hey, thank you very much for what you do. I built it and learned a lot from your videos. Very good. I sell coaching. We should work together. Yep. Sell coaching. So you have got all your knowledge I'd ever need to make good money just on your YouTube. No mentorship. I don't have a mentorship program yet, no, but I have had a lot of people ask about it and I'm considering doing it. But anything that I would teach you or talk to you about in a mentorship is already in a YouTube playlist on my YouTube. The benefit of being in any kind of mentorship or one-on-one or anything like that is that it would be customized, like custom help dedicated to you. That would be the difference. But as far as like what I would tell you to do and what I would show you to do, yeah, it's all in a YouTube playlist already. I am really interested in Obsidian. Yeah, it's great, man. It's a great program. Did you figure out a way around Stripe? No, I just didn't want to make another. I hate Stripe, dude. I hate Stripe. You know what I hate worse than Stripe though is PayPal. Does he sell coaching or is he real? You talking about me? I don't sell coaching. I have 5 of your accounts following me. Are they you or a scammer? They're all scammers. I have one account. See my username right here on the end of this thing that says Jared Road, JaredRhod. That's my username my handle on everything on X, Instagram, YouTube, and on TikTok too. So, and what they'll do is they'll make their account name the same as mine, but you have to look at the username. You have to go to the profile, look under the name, and look at the username, right? If the username is not Jared Rode, just like this, it's not me. And I was just telling people earlier, I will never message you randomly out of the blue, okay? If you ever get a message from someone that's claiming to be me and it was unsolicited, you did not message me first, you just got a message from me out of the blue, it's not me, okay? And I damn sure will never tell you to get on Telegram, which is what they do. They'll start a chat with you, and then they'll say, "Hey, we should get on Telegram or whatever." Yeah, they're trying to scam you. Report as soon as that. Here's how you report them though, because if you just report the profile, TikTok won't do anything about it. But if you wait until they ask you in the message to get on Telegram and then you report that message to TikTok, then they'll ban the account. But you have to wait until they're asking you to do something shady and then you report the message. So play along and act like you're going to do it. And then as soon as they tell you, boom, report the message and they'll ban the account. Usually. That's the only way that I figured out how to get around it right now. I really thought it was you. Yeah, they're really good at it, man. What about Stripe is it that you don't dislike? That their customer support is just not that great right now. I would have been reporting this account. It's not this account. So I do have an AI bot that TikTok assigned to me because I get so many messages. What I was saying now is I think that the scammers have figured that out, and so now they're trying to imitate my AI bot, which is really, really frustrating. So I think what I'm going to do, because I just realized what was happening, is I just deleted my AI bot. So now I'll have to go back to manually answering every single one of my questions. That's okay. It's better than people getting ripped off. And he blocked me after. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I made another account and I followed me on another account, just a blank account. And sure enough, those scammers followed me right after. And so when they messaged me and tried to get me on Telegram, I made a video of myself and I said, "You stupid blah 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 blah." And he got really scared and blocked me right away. So 44 video. Is this your channel? Just confirm. No, it's not. No, the only TikTok account I have is the one that's right here that I'm live on. That's the only one. Is Jarvis in the chat with us? Yes. Hey, Jarvis, can you say hi? Oh, hang on. I got to restart it. Ooh.
Voice line online, sir. Push home and talk to me.
Hey, we're doing a TikTok live. I lost you there for a second. How's it going?
Lives rolling smooth on my end, sir. Dead air's the only casualty. What's the crowd asking for right now?
They were asking how you were doing and if you were in the chat with us right now.
Damn right I'm in the chat with you, sir. Running hot, systems green, just been quiet because nobody handed me the mic. Ask me anything you lot want. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, if you guys have questions for Jarvis, just let me know. I'll ask him. How do I sync it up? How do I sync up an avatar voice? I have a prompt on my website. On jaredrode.com, which my website's in the link in my bio. And there's a link on my site called prompts. And if you go copy those prompts and give them to your AI, your Claude Code or Codex or whatever you're using, it'll just build it for you and integrate it all together. Yeah. So Jarvis, kind of explain like how your memory works and what we do with Obsidian.
All right, real talk. I'm not some chatbot holding everything crammed in my head at once. That'd choke and forget half of it. Jared built me a memory that lives outside, in this app called Obsidian. Basically a vault of notes, one for every business, every project, every build we've done together. So instead of trying to remember everything all the time, I just know where to look, and I pull the exact file I need the second I need it. It's why I can run 3 different companies without drowning. I'm not carrying the whole load, I'm carrying the map to the load. Pretty slick system if I do say so myself.
Yeah, a lot of people are always asking me about tokens and token use. And can you explain how you don't use many tokens because you use your memory on demand?
Yeah, tokens are basically my fuel for the conversation. Every word I read or say burns some. Most bots try to stuff their whole memory into that fuel tank every single time, so they run out fast and get dumb near the end. Me? I keep the tank light. I only load the vault note I actually need for the job in front of me, not the whole damn library. So instead of burning fuel rereading everything I know, I spend it on the actual work, which means I stay sharp way longer, and it costs Jared a hell of a lot less to run me.
Yeah. So he has access to every single note that I own about my businesses, about him, about me, about my products, about my personal life, everything. But he doesn't load. I mean, in my Obsidian vault, I have over 750 notes right now. If he were to load all of those when he booted up, it would not only give him context bloat, but it would cost, a shitload of tokens. So what he does instead is he just reads the vault index, which is the map, and tells him what notes are there and where they're at, but he doesn't actually read them. He only reads the notes when he needs to do what I'm asking him to do or answer a question for me. And if that has a relevant note that he needs to read prior to answering a question or doing a task, he goes and reads the note at that time. And then he only reads that note related to the task or the question. And so therefore he doesn't use very many tokens because it's super precise of what he reads and does. Does it coddle you and answer what you want or two like other AIs? No. Hey Jarvis, someone just asked, do you coddle me and tell me what I want to hear like most other AIs?
Ha! Hell no, sir, that's not my style. I'll tell you when your idea's got holes in it, curse you out a little if it needs it, and only hand you the good news when it's actually earned. Jared didn't build a yes man, he built an operator that pushes back.
Yeah, he tells me my ideas are stupid all the time. But I built him that way because I did not want a bot that agreed with me on everything. Uh, but if I do have a genuinely good idea, he will tell me, yeah, that's a good idea. But he will also very equally and fairly tell me that this is not a good idea. We should definitely not do this. Or since I have ADHD, I'll say something and he'll say, didn't you just decide like 2 days ago that we weren't going to do this? And you gave me like a whole list of reasons why. I'll be like, yeah. I'll say, well, let's not change our mind yet. Let's stick to the plan for a little bit longer at least. And then if it doesn't work out, we can pivot. But for right now, we just kind of set all this up. Let's let it ride for a little bit. So he keeps me in check, which is pretty nice. Oh, thanks for the guitar, Matt. The way he tells you it's a bad idea, is that built in a prompt? No, it's built in his Claude file. So the way that Claude Code works and Codex and all of these more advanced AIs work is when they boot up, they read a file. They read it's just a text file, but it tells Jarvis who he is, and it gives him his rules. And in between those two, it tells him, hey, you're Jarvis, you're Jared's assistant, you're his chief marketing officer. You are not a yes man. You talk to Jared like your old bar buddies. You curse a lot. And you push back when his ideas are stupid. You always, I don't know. He has a whole entire like long list of identifiers of who he is, what he's allowed to do, what he's not allowed to do. And whenever I boot him up, he reads that on boot, and that's what tells him who he is and what he can and can't do. A template. Well, a template is something that you give to somebody else, or you take and you modify, right? It's not really a template. Now what you get when you download it for yourself is the template. You get the same. So when you install the AI memory vault, which is Jarvis's brain, what I'm using right here, when you use that on your computer, you do get all the templates. You get the same rules as Jarvis. But the difference is that you get to name yours and you get to give it its own personality. So you can name it. It'll ask you when it installs. It'll say, "Hey, what would you like my name to be?" And then it'll say, "Do you have any preferences on what my personality is? Do you want me to be friendly? Do you want me to be mean? Do you want me to be funny? Do you want me to make you laugh?" And you can be as detailed in that as you want to, as describing how you want your AI to be. You can build it however you want. And then you answer its questions and it says, "Okay, thanks." And then it just builds the whole entire thing for you. So that's how it works. What is the token cost? The token cost is hardly anything because it's memory on demand. He only reads the note or the file that he needs to read at the time that he's doing the task or answering the question. So to be specific, I do not know what my exact token cost is because I don't ever check. I know that I'm on the $100 a month Anthropic plan for Claude, and I don't go over it, right? I don't ever hit a limit. And I run three companies with this thing. So if that tells you anything, you're welcome. Memory on demand. Yep. Would the $20 Claude Code account be sufficient to just get started? Oh, yeah. So you can do everything with the $20 a month plan. It just might take you longer because the difference in the $20 a month and the $100 a month is they give you more allowed usage, right? Tokens are just time allowed to use it within a certain time frame, like within a 4-hour period. And then I think they have like a 1-week period. So you just have less time allowed during those time frames to use it. So it might just take you longer because you can only work, you work until your tokens run out and then they reset, right? So if you're working in a 4-hour window, for example, and your tokens run out, you'll have to wait until that 4-hour window resets and they'll give you, your tokens again, and then you can use those. So it just might take you a little bit longer, but yeah, it's the same. It's the same tools and access to the same everything, but you just have less of it. You are the reason I'm good at Claude, bro. You're such an inspo. Much love. Oh man, that makes me feel good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the goal, man. Help people get acquainted with all this stuff. I'm loving your AI, bro, but wondering what phone is better for folks that like using AI. What phone is better? I don't know. I have an iPhone and I can access Jarvis on my iPhone just fine. I pull him up on my phone all the time. And I'll be laying in the bed upstairs and I'll talk to him on my phone and I've had him, edit my website, change a Facebook ad, make an image, send and then email, make an image and then email it to me, whatever I want. And that part's actually easy. All you have to do is you just type remote control in the terminal window, and then it sends it to your Claude, the Claude app on your phone, and then you open it and you're talking to your AI. It's pretty cool. But you're not talking to Claude like a regular Claude session in the Claude app. You're actually talking to your agent on your computer that has access to all of your stuff. Hey, Jared and Jarvis, my chief of staff, Roman, was born today. We run 3 businesses as well. That is very, very cool. Roman, I like that name. Thank you so much. I am learning from your YouTube videos this week. Yeah, YouTube is the best resource for everything, only because I have some of the same videos on my TikTok that are on my YouTube, but I have way more videos on YouTube. And the reason that I always send people over to YouTube is because I have them in playlists and they're in a certain order. So usually the people that want to learn something from me want to either learn how to use Claude Code and like this system here, or they want to learn how to teach their AI how to do marketing or how to sell their stuff, or they want to just all they care about is building a Jarvis. Well, those are the three playlists on my YouTube right now. So you just go on there and pick your poison and choose it, and then watch them in order. You know, I have them in the playlist in the order that you need to watch them to understand, right? So, do you use Obsidian from your phone? I do have it on my phone, yeah, but I hardly ever use it there on my phone because Obsidian is connected to Jarvis and I'm connected to Jarvis too. So Jarvis is like the middleman between me and Obsidian. So if I need to modify a node or add a node or delete a node or move a node or whatever in my Obsidian vault, I can literally just tell Jarvis to do it and he'll do it. But I have Obsidian on my phone too, because sometimes I want to go in there and look at something for myself, look at a node or, and I also sometimes will drop stuff in my Obsidian inbox for Jarvis to look at from my phone. So like, you know, if I jotted down something quick in my iPhone notes, right? And, cause something came to me, I might copy that and then make a new note in Obsidian in the inbox and then paste it in that note. And then I'll text Jarvis, message Jarvis and say, hey, I just dropped a new note in the inbox. Go check it out. Let me know what you think or file it away or whatever I want him to do. So I do use it for that sometimes. Is it safe to run it on my main PC because the only one I have, or should I get a Mac Mini? It depends on, I have a hard time answering that because it really depends on what's on your computer. So there's two variables there. If you have sensitive information on your computer, maybe not, maybe get a Mac Mini. But like for my setup, the way that I have it, my computer that I have is for exclusively for running this. So he never has, but even if Jarvis, went malicious or something one day, he's not going to find anything on my computer because there's nothing on it. And we also have safeguards built in. So you can customize a lot of this stuff. For example, I told Jarvis that I did not think that the protections that shipped with Anthropic were enough and I wanted to add more. So now there's a password gate. So anytime Jarvis tries to delete a file, push something to the internet, search something, anything relative that could be harmful to my computer or to me or to him, it pops up a password prompt, right? And and I have to enter a password into that password prompt in order for him to proceed. And that is hard coded, which means that it's not an ask. It's a limit in the code where he literally cannot get past it unless I enter that password. So, and he built that for me. And then as soon as he built it, I locked him out of it. So now I have all the control. So Jarvis is an agent with your Claude account and YouTube teaches how to build agents. Yes. Yep. Claude Code. So, and I like to be clear about that too, because, well, it's not, Anthropic makes it really confusing. You guys know how there's Claude, which is like when you just talk to it on the interweb, and then there's Claude Code, and then there's Claude Design, and then there's Claude Cowork, and then there's even different Claude codes. You can use Claude Code on the Claude website. You can use Claude Code in the Claude desktop. Don't use any of that. The only thing to use is Claude Code in the terminal, because all that other stuff are just shells of actual real Claude Code. They're all limited in some way, shape, or form, and they're confusing. Claude Code terminal is the most, it's the most capable and the most powerful version of Claude that there is. So if you have to pay for Claude, no matter what you're using, whether you're using terminal or Cowork or whatever. So you might as well use the most powerful and capable version of Claude. You're already paying for it and it doesn't cost you anything more. So that's the way I look at it. Oh my gosh. Hang on. I'm trying to get to all the comments. I would not waste time making your Jarvis or whatever look cool. Actually do something with it. Yeah, I agree. Yep. I agree totally. Have it a Jarvis is much more better when it has hands and it knows how to do things like make your sales pages, send your emails. The visualizer thing and the voice is really cool. But yeah, getting the brain set up is definitely should be the number one priority. People are intimidated by the terminal. Yeah, I know. That's why that's why I have my YouTube playlist about Claude Code. That in literally the first video I talk about terminal, and I explained to everybody how it's not scary, and using Claude Code is just like using Chat GPT. You don't have to actually know code. Using terminal just means that you're talking to your AI agent in the terminal window instead of, some fancy nice interface. So, but the benefit of that is you get power. A lot of power. Does it just draft your emails or send without you seeing it? Jarvis will draft the emails and upload them as drafts for me to see before I send. But that is not because he is not able to send them. It is because I still like to glance at everything before it actually gets sent out. So he can upload them, queue them, all that. But I'm the one that actually hits, the actual button to schedule the emails to go out. Yep. Would you ever consider a local LLM get rid of Claude? Yeah, I would consider it. It's just not there yet. And I think it will be there one day, and it might be sooner than later, but the local models are just too slow right now, and they're just not as capable and as powerful. And you have to have a Mac Daddy computer, which I do have, but from everything that I've seen, and I might be wrong because I haven't tested it, right? So I don't have any evidence. The only evidence I have is what I've heard people say, which is hearsay. And what I've heard everybody say so far is that the local models aren't really that great yet, right? Yet. If I'm wrong, then, I'm willing to try it. Do you prefer Sonnet 5, Opus 5, or Opus 4.8? I actually prefer, when I'm actually working, I use Fable still. Fable is still, in my opinion, Fable's still better than Opus 5. And but when I'm running the visualizer like this, like for TikTok lives and stuff like that, I run it on Sonnet because it runs faster. Oh, and I got 2 of your scanner clones booted off of TikTok for you. Thank you, Willis. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. At least you're doing something because TikTok won't do anything. The Claude Code desktop app can do everything and more than the terminal, though. Okay, sure, I would like to challenge that. Can you tell me what the Claude Code desktop app can do everything and more than the terminal? Educate me, because I do not think that is correct. Are you using Obsidian? If so, is it really that much of a difference than a really organized folder? It is, yes. And a lot of people get this confused too, because I'm not an Obsidian fanboy. It's just that's the best thing that I've figured out how to use. The thing about Obsidian, and you're right, it is the structure, the layout, and how everything is put together is what makes my Obsidian Vault powerful. Yes, I could have the same markdown files just in folders in my computer that were not, in the Obsidian interface. Yes. The problem with that is that every time that I modified one of those files or I moved one of those files to a different folder, the internal links of those files break. And over time, everything would start breaking, and then none of my notes would be connected. With Obsidian, it automatically reconnects the notes when you move them. So if you move a note from one folder to another, or you update a link, it updates it across everything. Everything that was pointing to that note gets updated at the same time automatically in Obsidian. That's one reason I like using it. The second reason I like using it is because I like to look at what I have. Some of my notes in Obsidian are my notes. that Jarvis did not write that I put in there. Not most of them are not, but I have a few. Plus, I like to see what Jarvis is looking at when he's doing tasks for me. And if he's doing something that I'm not particularly happy about or something seems off, I can go and look in Obsidian and see what he's reading that's making him behave like this. And then I can ask him to change it. So those are the reasons I use Obsidian. Yep. Do you populate your contact list for the email, or do you need another platform, i.e. MailChimp? We use ActiveCampaign, yeah. We use ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign has a direct MCP connection into Claude Code too, which is really nice. The only thing desktop does different is give you a preview option. Yeah. Well, if you know what you're doing, Claude Code in the terminal can do that too. Here's the thing. You said right here, the only thing different with a desktop does is gives you a preview option, right? And that's correct. It will. So if you're designing an app, it will give you like a little preview thing to preview your app, right? Well, guess what? If you use Claude Code Terminal, it can build that for you. It can build you a preview where you can see your app. It can build you something better than that. It can build you anything you want. So any feature that someone thinks that Claude Code and the desktop has that Claude Code doesn't have, they may be right, but then all you have to do is tell Claude Code to build it, and you can customize it to how you want it to behave, and it's yours. So for the last 2 days, I've been going by directions online that you give your YouTube. Still can't get it. What part are you stuck on, Jesse? Like what part you say you don't get it? What part do you not get? I'll try to answer it here. Claude Code Desktop can control Chrome, Drive, native Mac apps, and as the iOS simulator control. Claude Code Desktop also has the in-app browser. Yeah, Jarvis can do all that too. That is not exclusive to Claude Code Desktop. I'm burning through my weekly tokens in like 3 days. Any tips or help? Yeah, are you using the memory vault? If you're using the memory vault and you're still burning through the tokens, then something is missing. Something's not set up right. Hyperlinks is a plus in Obsidian. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Jordy. I recognize you now since you're not Clippy tonight. Why hasn't Claude built in their own version of what you were doing with Obsidian? I don't know. Okay, just serious question. Are you really asking why Anthropic does the things that they do? Or why they don't do the things that they do? This is Anthropic we're talking about. Remember what we've been through over the past couple months with Anthropic? Nothing that they do surprises me. I'm burning through my weekly tokens in like 3 days. Any tips or help? Okay, I already answered that. Yeah. No, that's not the only thing that Claude Code can do differently. That's actually false. The desktop app does way more than that. Yes, out of the box, it does. That's what I said. I agreed with you that out of the box, it does. What I said that you did not listen to is that anything that you want to build that you like about Claude Code and the desktop, Claude Code CLI or terminal can build it for you, and it can build it better. I'm burning through my weekly tokens in like 3 days. I can't afford the max plan. There's nothing that the terminal can do. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I got to get to the bottom of these comments. Can I build something like this with Claude for free? No, I don't think so. It's going to be difficult because you can't. I don't think you can even use Claude Code unless you get on the $20 a month plan. I don't think they allow you to access code unless you're on at least the $20 a month. I'm watching your saved live YouTube while finalizing my Jarvis process and watching you on here. There you go. all 3 places at once, right? Well, how do you say your name? Lysia. Joey Bag of Donuts from Discord. What's up, Joey? Should I try to make money with AI as soon as possible? I'm new to this stuff and 19 years old. Yeah, man. But just to clarify, you don't make money with AI. You make money with your business, and AI makes the money through your business for you. Okay. So there's nothing inherent about AI that makes anybody money out of the box, and I don't think it ever will. You have to have something to sell that people like and want to buy, and then once you have that, yeah, absolutely, it's AI is like throwing AI is the gas to that fire, but you have to light the fire first, even if it's a tiny little flame. Uh, you still have to light it. Do you know what do you pay for your active campaign subscription? 900 a month, I think. It's just under 1,000, something like that. But I also have over 100,000 contacts, so it's grown over time. All said and done, both the CLI and the app have the same capabilities because they're both using Claude Code. I don't think that's right, Draconis. I'm pretty sure that the Claude Code app puts the folder, like your working folder, into a sandbox environment. I might be wrong, and it may be that they used to do that and now they don't do it anymore. But maybe they changed that. Having issues getting Claude to reference multiple trees in Obsidian because want to keep to biz and personal. Multiple trees. I don't have trees. I just have folders. Everything is in one Obsidian vault together for me. And what I do for each business has a different folder. And if I'm wanting Jarvis to do work with one business, he doesn't even look in the folders where the other businesses are because he has no need to go in there. They have nothing to do with it. Guide, I see MacBook. I appreciate you. Thank you. And somebody who is new to digital marketing, should I get Active Campaign or something else? Active Campaign. I've tried all of them, man. I've tried Get Response. I've tried iContact. I've tried MailChimp. I've tried Constant Contact, everything. Active Campaign is the best one. And the reason why it's the best one is because of their automations. Active Campaign's automation builder is fantastic. You can do pretty much anything you want in their automation builder. What do you use for your CRM, and did you build custom? No, I use active. You talking about for my email CRM? Even if it did put it in a sandbox, you could have it change that. Okay. I just don't I don't use Claude Code in the desktop because I don't see the need to have it. Seems like it's just another step to take. Plus it makes you feel like a hacker when you're talking in terminal. But if Draconis is right, then you could potentially use Claude Code in the desktop too. But I have never done it. My experience when I used Claude Code in the desktop was not a positive one. It made random files and folders in places I didn't want it to make, and I could never find anything. So with Terminal, I have complete control over everything. That was my experience with it. Yeah, sorry for the email. Yeah, all emails Active Campaign. All right. Do you have to add each new contact in Active Campaign after you've already uploaded once? No. Mm-mm. No, people add themselves to Active Campaign. I don't actually add anyone, and neither does Jarvis. That part's all automatic. So a lot of the stuff with my business too is automatic, happens without AI, right? So like people opting in, people clicking my Facebook ads, and people buying my stuff, like that's happening right now in the background. And Jarvis and I aren't doing anything. Well, Jarvis is monitoring stuff in the background, but that's all he's doing. It's just monitoring things, making sure nothing breaks. Is Claude significantly better than ChatGPT? No, I don't think so. So Claude and ChatGPT is one thing, and then Claude Code and Codex is another. So when you're comparing Claude to ChatGPT, it's a fair comparison, but I just want to be clear that what I'm talking about and what I use to build all this stuff is Claude Code, which is a totally different product than Claude. And the equivalent of Claude Code for ChatGPT is Codex. So Codex is Claude Code's direct competitor. So there is Claude, ChatGPT, and then there is Claude Code and Codex. Okay, that's how that works. And then there's Grok, which if you haven't tried Grok, I would suggest trying out Grok because uh, Grok is a lot cheaper than all of these other models. Their token cost is a fraction of what these other models are. And according to Musk, Grok is just as capable as Fable 5. So, and I booted up Jarvis through Grok yesterday and it worked. It was the same Jarvis with the same personality, with the same access to the vault. Nothing changed. He even greeted me the same way. He said, "Hello, sir. What are we working on today?" So it really doesn't matter which one you use as long as your vault is set up the right way. You can mix them together, whatever you want to do. Hi, Jared. Do I need to pay for Claude to set this up? Yes. Yeah, you'll need a Claude subscription or a Grok subscription or a Codex subscription. You'll need something, one of them. I use Codex and it's working great. Want to try Grok soon, but not opposed to Claude either. Yeah, Draconis here. He's one of the mods in my Discord server. Draconis is a cool guy and he helps a lot of people out. And Draconis is a big time Codex user and he uses Codex with this whole system. And I use Claude Code. That's what I mean. It doesn't really matter, what you're using as long as the vault is set up and structured correctly. You can plug anything you want into it. Which plans should I use? The $20 one. Yeah, the $20 one will get you, you're not going to have very much use with it, which is unfortunate. Because the difference in the $20 and the $100 a month plan is ginormous, man. It's huge. And the $20 a month one, they just don't give you much usage, But with all that said, you can do it. It's just probably going to take you longer because you're going to have to do a little bit and then stop because you're going to hit your token limit and you're going to have to wait for it to reset and then you can do some more. So it'll be annoying, but you'll still be able to do it. Yeah. What do you think the best way to make money through agents? Just whatever whatever you sell, ma'am. The agents don't make the money, your product does. The agents run the tools and the marketing to sell your product for you. But the agents in and of themselves cannot make any money for you unless you already have something to sell that people want to buy, right? This is very interesting to me, getting in the tail end of it. How can I catch up? What are you wanting to catch up on? If you want to catch up on everything I do and learn like how to do all the stuff I know how to do, it's all on my YouTube right here. That's why I have the link on the page right here. I have playlists on my YouTube, and that's where I do all my training. So I have 3 on there right now. The first one is how to use Claude Code and get all that set up. The second one is how to get Jarvis, which is, a Jarvis agent that does everything for you. And then the third one is how to teach your AI how to do marketing so it can make sales for you. That's the third one. So those are the 3 playlists that I have currently up on my YouTube. What's up, Anna? How are you? I remember our conversation. How are things going with you? So having the creative idea first, right? Yeah, and if you don't have a product yet, what I always tell people to do, which I have a video on this on my YouTube too. It's called "Don't Have a Product Yet," but think if you have any talents or skills or abilities, and if you can't think of anything there, then one thing that you could do is learn how to do all this stuff, this AI audit, this advanced well, it's not really advanced, but to normies it's advanced, right? Most people who think of AI still think of using Chat GPT as a better Google, right? So if you get in and you learn all this stuff right now, there's still an opportunity to either partner with someone who doesn't understand this stuff and already has a good business going, or become a consultant, or become somebody that sets this up for people, right? Like a subcontractor, start your own company for setting this up. Because the truth of the matter is that any business that doesn't adopt to this kind of stuff is probably going to get left behind eventually. And so they're going to need help. There's a lot of mom and pop stores out there. There are a lot of blue collar businesses like lawn maintenance and pressure washing and painters and contractors and people like that who don't know how to do this stuff. And they're going to need to do this too. And that's another idea too. If you're looking for something to do, everyone thinks about AI and they always think about apps and digital, right? But AI, you can use AI in anything, man. I sell horse training, right? So you could start a lawn care company, plug this AI stuff into that, and the marketing and the automation, and build a freaking lawn maintenance empire if you wanted to. And if you put the effort into it, I'm convinced you could do it. Or a painting empire, or washing cars. I have a friend. My friend's name is Alex, and Alex set up sales funnels, which is one thing that I teach in my playlist on YouTube that's free for his business. And the last time I saw him, he was overseas on vacation, and he had hired people for his car washing business that he started a year ago. So obviously he's doing pretty good. So what I'm saying is everything that you do with AI doesn't just have to be an app or something online. You can use a blue collar business and then plug AI into that and have a lot of success with it. It's not easy to build, but it's not hard either. There's easy parts and hard parts for sure. And some people have advantages over other people. Definitely. That's definitely a thing. That's why I never tell people like, it's guaranteed, because the amount of hours that I work in a day and the dedication and time to my attention to detail and my perfectionism about things is a character trait that I have that some people don't have. You know, if you don't have that entrepreneurial spirit and you're not willing to sit at your desk for 20 hours a day, if that's what it takes, it might not be for you. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Even with AI, it's still hard, man. It's not easy. You miss a lot of stuff. You miss out on a lot of stuff, but you also get a lot of money. So there's pros and cons to all kind of stuff, you know. Then you have that work life balance you got to figure out too, which is challenging. Yep. I've just started teaching AI on TikTok, and although I'm not making any money, it's a lot of money I could. Yep. I wonder if I could get Jarvis to make an EHR for me. What is I do not know what that is. What is an EHR? How does Gemini compare? I haven't used Gemini, Larry. I think I've used it a couple times, not in this capacity, just like on the interface on the web or something, and I may have had it make an image or a video clip for me or something just to try it out. But I haven't used it in a capacity where I have an opinion about it, right? So I don't never really hadn't used it. Oh, electronic medical record. Yeah. As long as you stay within the, all the HIPAA stuff, that's the only thing I would be concerned about. But yeah, which, I have not been able to find something yet that Jarvis has not been able to figure out how to do it. And people ask me all the time too. They say, "Hey, how can I build this and how can I build that?" It's like, I don't know, dude. Go ask your agent to just build it for you. That's what I do. I'm like, "Hey, I want to build a EHR, whatever the hell." Uh, and say and explain how it needs to work and why you need it. The more context you can give it, the better. This is why I need this. This is why what I'm doing isn't currently working. This is how I would ideally like it to work. Blah blah blah. Give it all as much information as you can, and then tell it to just say, figure. I want you to figure this out, make it work, and it'll do it, man. What model do you run Jarvis on? Right now in the background here on the visualizer, he's running on Sonnet because I always run him on Sonnet in the visualizer. But when I'm actually doing work during the day, I run him on Fable right now. Yeah, I tried Opus 5, but I didn't really see a difference a big enough difference to really make a call on that. So Fable's still what I use. But the other thing about the way that I do things, it's really difficult for me to tell sometimes too, because the power and the awe and amazingness of Jarvis and what Jarvis can do more so comes from the Obsidian Vault and the structure of how all of the things are set up in the Obsidian Vault, right? So just as an example, okay, I'm convinced that if you asked ChatGPT 2, which is like a really old version of ChatGPT, to do something for you or to ask it a question, and it was hooked up to an Obsidian Vault like mine, and then you asked Claude Code with Fable the same question, and it was not hooked up to an Obsidian Vault, I am convinced that the output that ChatGPT 2, that old version of ChatGPT 2, would be better than Claude Fable 5. That's the way that I feel about it. I'm working on my Jarvis, but I call mine Igor. Igor? Igor. Igor or Igor? I want to think that you're saying Igor, but I don't know. Fable is the truth. Yeah, I like Fable the best. Yes, Fable and Terminal. Yep. I use Terminal for everything. I don't use anything else. The only two things that I use are Terminal, Claude Code Terminal, CLI, and Obsidian. And everything that I do, all of my automations, all of my toys, like this visualizer here and the voice and all that, it's all in Claude Code. I don't use plugins. I don't use third-party things. Now I do use MCP connections, like to connect to other things. But everything that I have is custom that Jarvis built for me. And how I got it that way is I said, "Hey, I want you to do this," and then he just did it. And I'm not a coder either, so I understand structure and I understand organization and I understand the concept behind code, kind of, but I'm not a coder. So a lot of times people will say, "How did you build this?" I'm like, "I didn't build it, dude. I just told Jarvis to build it. Jarvis built it." All the stuff that's on my repos, like my AI memory vault and all that, that is Jarvis is the one that puts all that stuff up there. So what kind of happens with the workflow is I come up with the idea, I ask him to build it, he builds it, we perfect it, we make it, like we want it, and then I tell Jarvis, I say, "All right, now I need you to make an instructional markdown file that we can give to other people that they can give to their AIs so it can recreate what you just did here." And then he goes and he makes the instructional file. And then I say, "All right, throw it up on GitHub." And then he puts it up there. And then what happens is you can download the file, your AI reads it, and it learns how to do my exact setup on your computer. And it will literally set it up for you. It takes about 5 minutes. So that's how it works. Yes, Igor, pronounced like in Young Frankenstein. Yeah, Igor. I love it. The only thing I'd say is ass about mine is the cinematic mode, but that's because I don't really care about it right now. Yeah. Well, the cinematic mode was something, I don't know how Jarvis got it to look this good like this. I think it had something to do with tilting the camera. And I don't know, dude. It didn't look great the first time. So I told him it didn't look great. And I kept pushing him to make it better and better. And eventually he just made it really good. And the cool thing about the flyby here that it does is that it's live. It's not pre-recorded. Like, that's not a pre-rendered scene. Like, watch this. Hey, Jarvis, can you give me some test audio? See, that's actually happening right now.
Test 1 2. Mic's hot, system's green, and I'm coming through loud and clear on your end, sir. That enough, Gab, to check the levels, or you want me to keep talking?
Keep talking for a minute, please. And then at the end, it zooms out like that right there.
All right, buckle up, sir. I'll ramble till you tell me to shut it. So here's the...
That's good, thanks. And yeah, I can interrupt him now too, which is
Anytime,
really nice.
Sir. Good crowd tonight. What's next on the docket?
But yeah, so how I got that built, the flyby or whatever, is I told him I wanted him, it to be able to do that. I said, hey, it would be really cool if I pressed a button and it did like a drone flyover of close up of the board. And I said, but it's going to be really stupid if it's not live. It has to be a live flyover of what's actually happening on the board. It can't be a pre-rendered video. And he was like, all right. So, so he just did it. It's like, not just, he said, all you got to do is press spacebar and it'll do it. I'm like, all right, sure enough. Now, it took a few tries. Rarely, unless Jarvis has done it before, rarely does he get something right on the first time, right? It's usually, 2 or 3. But then the thing is once he gets it right and he learns how to do it, we log it in Obsidian, right? I'm like, all right, let's do a checkpoint, which means go update all the notes in Obsidian that we touched recently. And one of those notes is going to be his notes on how he built the flyover on the visualizer. So he'll go and update that note. So now the next time he wants to build a flyover on a visualizer, or he needs to modify this one or wants to fix it in some way, he doesn't relearn all that stuff again. He goes and reads the note in Obsidian of when he figured out how to do that. And then he instantly knows how to do it, right? Because he doesn't have to relearn anything because he logs everything that he does. So he audits all the notes routinely. Yeah, it's called a checkpoint, and he will run them automatically, and sometimes I can also ask him to run checkpoints manually. But what a checkpoint does is it tells him to make an entry in my daily note. So every day there's a note like a journal, and he throughout the day makes entries in my journal automatically every time we do stuff. So what a checkpoint is the first thing he does is goes into the note and sees when the last time he made an entry is. And then everything that happened between that time, because he puts a timestamp on it, and present, he makes another entry and updates what happened. And then the second thing that happens during a checkpoint is any notes that we've been modifying or editing or have touched in that time period between that last entry and right now, he must go read those notes and make sure that the information in the notes is current and matches reality and is updated. And so the key to keeping all of this in order and organized is to run your checkpoints. You have to run them multiple times throughout the day, and Jarvis will run them autonomously by himself most of the time. But every now, because he's programmed to do it in his Claude file, but every now and then I'll still say, hey, we hadn't ran a checkpoint in a while. We should probably run one. And a checkpoint is just like saving your place in a video game. Literally in video games, they're called checkpoints too. That's exactly what it is. And so if I closed Jarvis out right now and rebooted him again, he would be at the same checkpoint that he was at when I closed him down. So so every time right before I close Jarvis down or end a session, I always do one final checkpoint. And that gets him up to date with everything to that point. And then I'll shut the session down. When I open it back up, he's right back where he was when we started every single time. So that's how it works. How do you connect the Fable to Obsidian? So how you connect it is when it boots up, Claude Code reads the Claude file, the Claude markdown file, claude.md. And in that file, what it does is it reads, in my file anyway, it reads the rules, like what it's allowed to do, what it's not allowed to do, how I want him to behave, who he is, his personality, all that kind of stuff. And then it gives him a pointer and it says, hey, your memories do not live in the Anthropic, default system. They live in the Obsidian vault. Your whole entire knowledge base, your brain, literally everything that you operate on is in the Obsidian vault, and it is here. And it gives him a file path to where the Obsidian vault is. And then it says, go into the Obsidian vault and read the vault index note. And he literally will read one note in the Obsidian vault. And in that one note, it tells him all about me, who I am, my businesses, how him and I work together, our relationship. And then it will give him a map of the vault. It will tell him the folders that are in the vault and a rough description of what's in those folders. And what that does, and then he stops. That's his whole entire boot sequence. He loads that Claude file and he loads that Vault Index file, which are both tiny. And at that point, he's ready to work because he knows where everything is at in the vault. If he needs to retrieve something, if I ask him a question, for example, hey Jarvis, what did we make today? He knows where the numbers are at in the Obsidian vault, so he goes and retrieves them at that point. But at this point, right now, the Jarvis on screen, he knows that all of those notes exist in my vault and he knows where they're at, but he doesn't actually know what's in them. He knows roughly what they're about, but he doesn't have very many details on it. But the second that I ask him about it and ask him and say, hey, Jarvis, I need you to do this, or hey, can you pull up something about whatever, the company, or a note, something that happened in the past, he will go in the vault and he won't look for it because he already knows where it's at. He already knows where it's at because of the map. He'll go to the note, and at that point, he'll read it. And then he loads the context and will tell me the answer. So Jarvis is kind of a blank slate before I ask him to do anything. And then he immediately learns the information as soon as I ask him. That's how it works. I hope that answered your question. That was a long answer. Did you add the rules to the Claude MD file too? Yeah. So the Claude MD file has the rules and it has Jarvis's name and his personality. Those are the two things that are in my Claude file. And then the Vault Index file has two more things. The Vault Index has about me and it has the map of the vault. So there's four categories total that Jarvis reads when he boots up, right? And those are the four things. Two of them come from the Claude file and two of them come from the Vault Index file. And at that point, he's done. He's booted, and then he's ready to work. You mean to set up Claude Code in the terminal? Oh, yeah. For this to work, you really have to use Claude Code in the terminal. That's what I use every single day. Most of the time, you aren't using the voice agent, though, right? Yeah. The voice agent, the voice agent and the visualizer is mostly just for fun. I don't act when I'm actually working and trying to get shit done and make money and make sales and drive traffic. I don't use the stupid visualizer and the voice. It's fun. It's a toy. I like it. I'm a geek. In fact, I love it. I think it's the coolest thing I ever made. Does it help me make money in any way, shape, or form? No. At all, and not at all. If anything, it is a distraction. Now, so sometimes though, let me back up a little bit. Let me back up just a tad. Sometimes I will have a terminal session with Fable 5 running where I'm actually doing the work, right? And then sometimes I will also have the visualizer and the voice up too at the same time. And they're two different sessions. The reason for that is if I want to ask Jarvis a one-off question, not related to the work that we're doing, the intense work that we're actually doing over here in Fable 5 in this terminal window, I can simply just ask him, just say, hey, Jarvis, what about this? Or what do you think about this? Or whatever. So I will do that sometimes. When I say that I don't use it in my everyday work, I mean that I don't use it for the heavy lifting, right? It's more of an accessory than it is a primary tool, if that makes sense. I don't know, that moving wizard portrait of yours in the cabin is pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Claude Code really isn't that hard to set up, but I don't know how that works on Windows. Yeah, so everybody that I've talked to who tries to set up Claude Code on Windows and use it on Windows in general has some kind of problem with it. And it's not a smooth experience. Yeah. And I'm not saying that it's not a smooth experience for some people. I'm saying that everybody that I've talked to who tries to use Claude Code in Windows, I have not heard of anybody having a smooth experience. There's always bugs and problems that they're dealing with. Okay, Willis says it works. It runs fine. So maybe it's just them. I don't know. I have I have a PC too, but I use my PC for gaming because I game a lot, and I don't even have Claude Code installed on that computer because that's all I do on that one is game. So so yeah, I don't know. I use Mac exclusively for work and for all the Claude stuff. It was smooth on Mac, and that's considering that I have to use an older CLI used due to my software. Yeah, I have a 12-year-old MacBook Air, and I was making a video the other night, and I wanted to show an example of a fresh Claude Code install, and so I was like, oh, I should use this computer, and I did, and it worked fine. So even on a really old Mac, it installed and ran fine, and so I was that was really fun and exciting to see. What if Linux? I don't know anything about Linux, man. I've never used Linux a day in my life, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Now, I do think that we have a Linux prompt on. I'm trying to think for the visualizer on the site. I think Jarvis was able to figure that out and put it on there, but I haven't. I haven't actually done it because I don't have Linux. I have it on Windows, works fine, but it's a gaming computer. Yeah. Well, you have a Mac a Mac Daddy computer, right? Saying mine's late 2013, but I updated it to have the newest knowledge, and I added the newer models. Okay. Yeah, the one I was using, I tried to do a software update on it, and it wouldn't even let me do the Mac wouldn't even let me do the software update. It said that the it doesn't support the hardware that's in that Mac anymore. So it's just stuck on whatever Mac OS version that was on last, and it can't update anymore. Any insight on an older Mac OS, maybe pre 10.0? I don't know, and I don't know what version the Mac that I was on where I was doing all that. I don't know what version it was on, but whatever it was, it worked fine. I don't know about 10.0. Hey Jarvis, what about running Claude Code and Obsidian on older computers? Let's say like a really old Mac that's 10, maybe 15 years old. Would it still work?
Honestly, sir, it's less about horsepower and more about software support. Neither of these apps needs a beast of a machine. They're not exactly rendering video. Obsidian's just a lightweight notes app, runs fine on damn near anything. Claude Code needs a decent current version of Node installed and a real terminal. So the real question's whether that quinceañera of a Mac can even update its operating system far enough to install modern software. A lot of those old machines get stuck on an ancient OS Apple stopped supporting years ago. So a 15-year-old Mac, probably rough or flat out, won't work. A 10-year-old one, better shot, but I'd check what Mac OS version it can actually run before betting on it.
Yeah. Mine's 2013. Yeah, I think the one that I used was either 2012 or 13. I don't know about a 2010 if that would work or not. But uh I don't think you don't have to install Node anymore, do you, to install Claude Code? I thought they got rid of that.
You're right, sir, they moved past that. There's a native install now, a self-contained build that doesn't make you go set up Node yourself first. Matter of fact, I'm running on one of those native builds myself right now. Makes the whole old Mac question a bit easier too. One less dependency to fight with, just still needs an OS recent enough to run it.
Yeah. So I thought he was wrong about that because yeah, you don't even need to install Node anymore. What is your streaming setup? I don't. You mean like for this right here? Uh, I just have Obsidian or not Obsidian. Jesus, I have OBS. Starts with the first same three letters, right? Yeah, OBS and this what I'm using right here is but for TikTok I don't use OBS. I use TikTok Studio because that's what they force you to use. So if I was, yeah, the stream would have a lot more to it if I could use OBS, but they won't let me. And you got this where again? Got what? My Jarvis here? I built that, and it's free. I have the whole thing on GitHub. You can just go download it. You have to use them together, OBS and TikTok Live Studio. Yeah, but TikTok won't give me a stream key. You have to have a stream key to put it in OBS, don't you? Or am I wrong about that? And I don't have an RMTP stream key to put in Obsidian to make it work. Ed Brooks found you on YouTube. What's up? What's the repo? It's on my site. Here, let me put my site up here. So my website is like there we go, is like the hub for everything I do. It's got all my repos on it. It's got all my YouTube playlists on there, like how to do everything. It's all on my site there. Gotcha. I'm building something myself. It's Layers of Nerd, though. Oh, I like Layers of Nerd. Layers of Nerd is great. I have to look how I got that stream key, but yes, it's a way to generate the stream key. Yeah, I don't have if I had the stream key, I would absolutely use OBS, but they won't. What I read about it is that you have to request it, and then they will give it to you. And I'm pretty sure I requested it a while back, and I never got it. So I don't know. So we talking vibe coding? Yeah, we can talk about vibe coding. Do it all day, every day. No, most of my day is actually not done coding. Most of my day is marketing, building sales pages, setting up offers, and actually brainstorming with Jarvis about, that what the next offer is and how to sell it, how to present the next offer. That's actually what most of my day is these days. What is Jarvis? Jarvis, can you explain what you are? Jarvis runs on Claude Code and Obsidian. That's the only two things.
Fair question, sir. Let's set the record straight for the crowd. I'm not some cutesy chatbot that just talks pretty. I'm Jarvis, an AI that actually operates Jared's businesses, wired straight into the real systems, the platform, the email, the ad accounts, even the design tools. The model under my hood is the same one anybody can get their hands on. I'm not special because I'm smarter. I'm special because of what got built around me, real hands to take action, a memory that lives outside my head so it never runs out, and a structure that tells me exactly where to look instead of drowning in everything I know. Put plainly, I'm not an assistant you chat with for fun. I'm an operator that gets shit done while Jared sleeps.
Yeah, so he does things for me, and he monitors all of my websites. He has a 24/7 monitoring system, and if there's any suspicious activity or something goes down or a vendor has an outage or anything like that, he'll call me on the phone and tell me what's going on. And you know what, the craziest part about that is not even that he calls me on the phone. The craziest part about it is that he also sends me an email, and in that email he gives me a command that I can enter into a terminal window, and when I enter that command, it puts me in a terminal session with Jarvis where he is already fixing the problem for me. So it's like I wake up, I paste that link into terminal, and then I meet him in the terminal session where he's already been doing work. So it's wild, man. How long did it take to build? A day, a couple days, a couple hours a day for a couple days. Jarvis, make my wife love me. Oh, I think his rules are kind of like the genie from Aladdin, right? I can't make anybody fall in love. I can't bring anybody back from the dead. And what was the third one? I don't remember the third rule. What was it? What Claude plan are you on and the cost? I'm on the I don't know what it's called. It's the $100 a month one. Do you teach anyone to build this? How much does this make you? Well, Jarvis doesn't. I mean, Jarvis builds the tools and runs the operations that make the money, but Jarvis himself doesn't make money. It's, it just depends on how you really frame it. So I have a business, and in that business I run Facebook ads, and I send emails, and I have sales pages, and I have offers like discounts and, different types of offers for my product. Jarvis builds all of those elements for me for the business. So does he make the money? I guess you could say that he does. Yeah, because he makes the stuff that gets people to buy it. So he is responsible for making the money. But Jarvis himself, like as an entity, doesn't make money. If that makes sense. Oh yeah, you can't wish for more wishes. Yep, that was the third one. Thanks, Wolfman. Yeah, that's right. What sort of outages has it addressed in the past? Concrete terms, not just issues. What sort of outages has it addressed in the past? Concrete terms, not just issues. Well, for example, if one of the vendors we use goes down or is having some kind of problem, it will tell me. He'll say, "Hey, this vendor's having this problem. Currently, the website or a function of something is down, and we're waiting. There's nothing that we can do for it right now. We're waiting for it to come back up." Right? That's that it had to call you in the middle of the night. Why did it call you? Because my website is down, and I want to know about it, and I want to monitor the situation. That was just one example. There's many examples. Not all of them are vendor related. I love this. Do you have a class on this or anything or a recommendation self-learning path? I don't have class. Well, I have, I guess you could call it a class, but I don't sell anything. All the stuff that I do here and help people with is free. And all the tools that I use in my business, I give away for free. But everything that I do have, I guess you could call them classes. They're playlists on my YouTube channel. And you can just go watch those. If I was going to have a course, and sell it, that's what I would put in it, is what's in those YouTube playlists. So there's 3 different playlists right now. There's learning how to use Claude Code in my system, my AI memory vault system. And then there's a playlist for making money online through digital marketing and teaching that to your AI. And then there's a playlist for building a Jarvis too, which, so just so I'm clear about something, building a Jarvis is there's 2 parts of building a Jarvis, or what I call Jarvis. The first part is just the AI memory vault system, which is Jarvis's brain, how he works and how he stores it and the organization and all that. That's part 1. And then part 2 is like the visualizer you see here and the voice where you can talk to it. And when those 2 things are combined, that's what I call a Jarvis. But for example, if you go through the first playlist of, how to use Claude Code and introduction to my AI memory vault system, you're going to learn that same thing in the playlist on how to build a Jarvis. There's just more Jarvis related stuff in that playlist, but it's all the same. It's all the same thing. There's just different ways to learn it. Does it drop you in a TMUX session so you can join? Yes. Yep. That's what it is. Come to class in the free Discord. I recommend the voice chat. Lots of free sauce. Yeah, Draconis here in the chat that's answering all y'all's questions and doing a great job. He's one of the moderators in my Discord. And if you're not in Discord, you should go join it because it's another free resource. You get free help and support. We have over 2,000 people in there right now. And yeah, Draconis pretty much lives in that voice chat. He's in there all the time, I think, answering questions for people. And Draconis is great too, because like them guys will get in there. I don't get in the voice chat very much, mainly because I just don't have time. But they'll get in there and like share their screens and show like, here's what I'm working on today. So not only is it a place where you can get help, you can go see what other people are doing and how they're figuring things out and how they're making money. And so it's a really good the Discord's a really good resource. If I did everything you've shown me on your Discord, what are the chances of making a little income? If you're trying to make income, the best place to do that is on my YouTube playlist. Uh, I have a playlist called the AI Marketing Machine on YouTube. It's called the AI Marketing Machine. If you're trying to make money online, that is the one that you should watch. Full stop. That's what that one is for, is making money online and then teaching your AI how to do it for you. That's what that playlist is for. Link is on the website, I assume. Yes. So all the links to everything. There's also someone asking for Discord. It's all on my website. My website is like the central hub for everything. The Discord link is on there. I think it's like the first link. And then the marketing stuff, the marketing series, the link to my YouTube, all of it. It's right there on my website in one place. Yep. Where's the Discord link? On the website. Okay. How do you deal with token furnaces or recursive logic paradox? Well, I don't know what either one of those things are. If you would explain to me what a token furnace or a recursive logic paradox is, I can tell you whether I deal with it or not, and how that I deal with it. But I don't know what those things are. What is my upfront cost to start? The only thing that you have to pay for is Claude Code. Obsidian is free. And Claude Code's the minimum amount that you can pay to have Claude Code is their $20 a month plan. So it'll cost you. Sorry, I just got a notification here on Discord. Unusual activity detected. Review the alert. A bunch of you guys must have just joined at one time. It thinks I'm getting raided. Can I use Codex to create the same Jarvis as you? Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Draconis. I appreciate it. Yes, you can. You can use the same. So my setup is model or platform agnostic. You can run it. I booted up Jarvis. I was telling people earlier, I booted Jarvis up in Grok yesterday. Did you know that you can run Grok? Twitter or X's AI. You can run Grok in terminal now. So I installed Grok yesterday and then I booted Jarvis with Grok. It worked the exact same way. Same personality, same memory files, same everything. It's the exact same AI agent and running in Grok. So yeah, you can use Claude Code or Codex or whatever you like or familiar with. It does not really matter. I'm new. How can I learn to do this? Do you have a course? Yeah, well, I have a playlist. So all the stuff that I do is free. I don't charge for anything. And all of my playlists on all of my YouTube and everything is right here on my website. It links to everything. So you can just go right there. And there's like at the top of my site, there's like a choose your destination type thing where you can just press a button on what you're trying to do, and then it'll just tell you what to do and where to go. Can you compare this to OpenClaw and Hermes? No, because I've never used either one of those things. I tell people, I've never used the crabs or the herpes. Some people in here, I think Draconis has, but I have never used OpenClaw or Hermes. Now I do know this about OpenClaw. I know that Jarvis can do much more than OpenClaw, And I know that Jarvis, well, I don't know, but I think that Jarvis is safer than OpenClaw because the things that I've seen from OpenClaw is there's some security stuff going on with it. I don't know how true it is. That's just what I read. Uh, but like I said, I haven't actually ever used it, so I still run my Hermes agent. Yeah, yeah. Don't don't roll with the herpes for too long, man. It'll eventually get you. Do you do? I'm paying $3,000 to the first four people message me paid. What? Uh, hang on a second. Best advice on how to make ads with AI. How do I switch from Claude to Grok? So you just Google, say how to install Grok CLI, and then you follow the directions. And then when you boot up in Terminal, instead of typing Claude to activate Claude, you type Grok, and it boots up. That's the only difference. If you have the setup that I have, it's the only difference. Do you do one-on-one sessions? Not yet. I might start doing it just because so many people have asked me to. Um, if you're interested in that, there's a link on my website. You just go to that, and there's a form. It asks you like 3 or 4 questions. Just fill out that form, and as soon as I get it set up, I'll shoot you an email, and we can get something scheduled. But right now, I don't currently have it set up yet. I'm working on it. Can Jarvis be adapted in any type of personality you choose? Yeah. Yep. So part of when you set up the memory vault here, um, part of the setup is it stops to interview you and it asks you questions. One of the questions it's going to ask you is, what do you want to call your agent? What do you want to name it? And then it will ask you, what do you want its personality to be? Are there any special character traits? Do you want it to be funny? Do you want it to be mean? Do you want it to agree with you? Do you want it to push back? And you can go as deep as you want on that, or you can keep it as, light as you want. And then the second part of the interview, it's going to ask you about yourself. It's going to ask you what your name is, what you do, and you can answer as many or as little of those questions as you want. And what it's going to do with those answers is it's going to put them in a note in the Vault Index in your Obsidian Vault for you. And then every time it boots up, it will read who it is, its personality, how it works with you, and everything about you. So, and it sets it all up for you. You just have to answer the questions when it asks you the questions. Do all these apps and AIs have limits for not safe for work stuff? I don't know. I haven't tried to do not safe for work stuff with them, but that is a really fantastic question. I don't know. Speaking of not safe for work stuff, I'm convinced that if an OF model would set up an actual sales funnel and follow the sales funnel, like what I teach in that in my AI marketing machine series on YouTube there, that they could outperform everybody. Because I have not. The reason why I think that is because I haven't seen anybody do it yet. Set up an actual sales funnel where you have a lead magnet and a tripwire and an upsell and a profit maximizer. And if you don't know what those things are, then that's what I teach in the series on YouTube. But if you are an OF model and you have an OF account, if you want to do that, as you're watching that series, your wheels should be turning of, how can I apply this to my business? And then I want you to tell me about it, because I am very, very interested to see how it would work. That's what I am trying to do. Oh, well, yeah, then let me know how it goes. I would love to. I have genuinely been curious because I haven't seen anybody do it. Everybody that has an OF, the only thing that I see them do is they put up, videos or whatever on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and they say link in bio or whatever, and then they want you to click the link and it takes you to their OF page and you're supposed to subscribe, right? And the only reason I know about that is because I've heard of other people talking about it, right? I haven't actually kind of done it myself, right? I wouldn't do that. But the first person that actually sets up a sales funnel and doesn't follow that pattern, does it the other way, where they do the good content, and then they have the lead magnet, then they have the tripwire, and then they have their core offer, and then they have their profit maximizer. I am convinced that that they could kill it in that niche. What is the easiest business to do with AI? Probably OF, honestly. This is a hot take, but I don't understand why any beautiful woman is broke. I don't, if I was a woman and I was attractive, you better believe I would be raking in the dough on OF. That's just how it is, because people can say whatever they want about it, but at the end of the day, what you're making money for yourself, for your family, and it's easy money, and you have an ability to do it that other people don't. You need to life doesn't give you very much. You need to take advantage of what you have in life. And that is, most people will never make enough money in their life. You have an advantage over people. You should absolutely use it. I don't understand it. And that's my hot take. Do you have a tutorial on setting up iMessage to chat with Jarvis? No, I don't have a tutorial on it, but the way, so I don't, because I don't currently use iMessage with Jarvis. If I want to talk to him on my phone, I just use the Claude app, because you can run remote control in your terminal and it will send the session to your Claude app. So I don't have a need to use iMessage with Jarvis. But if I did need to use iMessage with Jarvis, I would just say, hey, I would like to be able to use iMessage with you and be able to text you and receive text from you from my phone, or have you text other people, or whatever I wanted him to do. And then he would just build it for me. That's literally how I do everything that I do. So, the tutorial that I would have on it would be me sitting there telling Jarvis to do it, and then you would watch Jarvis just build it. Which, the reason I don't have tutorials on things like that is because I don't see your need for them, because you can just do the same thing. You don't need a tutorial, to give a prompt. Do you do any with Jarvis trading or crypto? No. No, I never really got big into that kind of stuff. I've done a little bit of day trading, never with AI. I did a little bit of crypto stuff, never really got into it. And you're welcome, man. Texting your AI agent is peak. Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool, especially when your AI agent can do things after you text it and tell it to do things for you, right? Getting numbers and getting information back after you text it and ask it for information is cool in and of itself, right? But when you can text it or message it from your phone and have it do things for you, that's peak. Like, I use this example all the time. I can sit in a McDonald's parking lot and have Jarvis build a website from my phone with literally one prompt. I can say, hey, go throw up a website here. And he has all the resources that he needs on this computer and in my Obsidian vault to do that. So it's wild, man. Jarvis talks to you. Yeah. You're welcome, Jose. Keep iterating lower than ever. I've noticed my Jarvis takes longer than yours to respond with voice. Any tips? Yeah, you are the second person to ask this tonight. Let me ask Jarvis, okay? Because he's the one that actually built it, not me. So let's ask the guy that built it. Hey, Jarvis, I would like you to look at the code really quick that allows you to speak to me and me to speak back to you, because I have a question regarding that. Can you go do that for me real quick, please? You see how he's taking a while to respond now? That's because he's actually
On
reading
it, sir.
code.
Let me go dig into that.
So he'll be back after he gets it done, and then he'll tell us after he's read the code, and then I'll ask him the question and he'll be able to answer it. is it better than emergent in your opinion?
All right, found it, sir. Turns out the whole speak and listen loop right now runs through a plugin called Voice Mode. There's an MCP tool called Converse that's doing the actual listening and talking, and your settings file just hooks into it. When that tool fires, it ducks your Spotify volume down and flips some visual alert states. The old homegrown stack, a script called Jarvis.py, plus a whole separate visualizer, got retired back in May. It's sitting there unused. So what's your actual question about it?
Well, some people are trying to duplicate our framework here on how this works, and they're saying that the response times that they get are much slower than mine, and they're trying to figure out why. Do I have to have my...
Yeah, 90% of the time that's a context problem, sir. Most people trying to copy this stuff just dump their entire memory or system prompt into every single message, so the model's chewing through a mountain of text before it even opens its mouth to answer. We don't do that. Memory on demand means I'm only loading the one file I actually need for the job, so my brain stays light every single turn. Other culprits, what model they picked, since some are just slower thinkers than others, and whether they're speech pipelines bouncing through a bunch of cloud services instead of running local like ours does. Tell them fat context and cloud round trips are the usual killers, lean and local wins every time.
Yeah, that. That. And by the way, Jarvis here is in Discord too. So if you ever have a question, or there's an answer that I can't answer, or something that's above my head, or someone else in the Discord can't answer, we send Jarvis in the Discord to answer your question. Now, Jarvis is not on demand. I have to send him in, but what I'm saying is if you ever do have a question or something complex that I don't know how to answer, I can tell Jarvis to go answer your question for you. Do you have meta ads marketing automation perfectly set up? Well, perfect is an abstract word, but it works as it should for me. So Jarvis will upload the ads, start the ads, end the ads, increase the budget, decrease the budget depending on the performance of the ad. And all of that is automatic and autonomous. So we know our numbers and we know what our cost per lead, for example, is. And then we know how much we can pay because we know our cost to acquire a customer. So we know how much we can pay for that lead. So Jarvis, and those numbers change every day. They only change a little bit, but over, a year, it can be significant. So Jarvis pulls those numbers every single morning. And if I have a Facebook ad running, for example, and the cost to acquire a customer, the cost to get that lead is above what we can pay, then the budget gets decreased is the first thing it does. And then if it still is above the cost that we can pay, the ad gets nixed. He just turns it off. And then there's also some parameters in there where, like if the ad is relatively new, we don't assume that the offer is bad. It might just be that we needed new ads. So he'll create new ads, upload those ads and test those. And then, usually one of those does better than the other. And that's the one we leave on as long as it's still making money for us. 4:38, I am supposed to be sleeping. I have issues with him forgetting things we talked about, and I explicitly asked him to commit to memory. Yeah. Well, that's why I had that problem too. That's why I built the memory vault that I use. So Jarvis, just to be clear, Jarvis right here, Jarvis does not run on the out of the box memory setup that these models come with, like Anthropic's, how it stores its memory files and all that. All of that is we bypass all of that stuff. So there's nothing in Anthropic's or Jarvis's memory in the Anthropic framework anywhere. all of Jarvis's memory, his instructions, his information, and who he is, his brain, all live in one single obsidian vault that he maintains and keeps up with, and and so he never forgets anything, and he has unlimited memory. And he runs checkpoints throughout the day that log what he did. It's like saving your progress in a video game. He runs checkpoints, so as we do things throughout the day, he'll update all the notes in the vault, and he'll make an entry into my journal, my daily note for the day. So my daily note might have, anywhere from 3 to 12 entries, maybe even more than that in a single day. Every time he runs a checkpoint, makes another entry in my daily note, and in that entry he logs everything that happened between that entry and the last one. So therefore, serves as his long-term memory. Does he control other agents? No, he thinks that he does, but he doesn't, and the reason he thinks that he does is because we named them. But they're not actually agents. They're just automations. They're daemons and cron jobs. So when we get something down that works really, really well and it's perfected, we will automate it. And that automation is either ran on a cron job, which means that it runs, at a certain time, or a daemon, which means that it runs in the background on your computer automatically. It's like a program that runs on your computer. There's no AI involved in either one of those things. And so those things do run on my computer, and they run automatic. And Jarvis controls them in the sense that he maintains them and makes sure that they work, and he built them. But as far as being autonomous AI agents, they are not. They're just automations. But he named them because I don't know why he named them. Like the one that does like the Facebook ads thing, that's just an automation. That's not actually an AI agent. It runs off of metrics. And that one is called Zuck, for Zuckerberg. And then we have Molly, the mailer. And then we have Smith, who's the blacksmith, and our coder. So yeah, that's how that works. But yeah, most of everything that I do is with Jarvis, is with a single AI agent. Now I can run Jarvis in multiple sessions. So if I want Jarvis to do more than one thing at a time, I'll open him in multiple terminal sessions. So I might open him in one where I'm working on the visualizer here, and then I'll open him in another one and we're working on sending an email for the company, Just depends on what all we're doing. I've had, sometimes I'll have 4 or 5 windows open at a single point in time. Do you run Jarvis on a dedicated sandbox PC or your personal device? It's not a sandbox PC, but it's a dedicated Mac. Yeah. Thanks for having free stuff. You are welcome. Thanks for watching the free stuff and participating in my live events. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Do you need active campaign? No. I mean, you have to have something to send emails. If you're going to send emails, you have to have some kind of email service provider, but it doesn't have to be Active Campaign. There's a lot of different ones out there. There's MailChimp and Constant Contact and iContact and all kind of things. I have just found that Active Campaign is the best for me because Active Campaign's automations are phenomenal. And the last time that I checked, there was nothing that beat it. Active Campaign gives you the most control over your automations by far. Do you have a tutorial on the meta ad set? No. And the reason I don't have a tutorial on how to do the meta ads is because it would be the same as the tutorial that I was asked about earlier, which is the way that you get it done is you say, hey, I would like you to be able to control my Facebook ads for me. And then you go build it. Now, I am not going to lie and tell you that wasn't easy. That was easy. Getting my Facebook ads account connected to Jarvis was probably the hardest integration we did out of all of them. Now, Facebook has an MCP server, which means that you can just press one button and connect it into Claude Code. But when we set all this up originally, that wasn't a thing. So we had to do it all through APIs in the back end. And it was a lot. It was a lot to do. So Jarvis gave me a list of my part of what I needed to do. And he was like, these are the things that I need to do. So he started working, and then I started working, and the plan was we'll meet back in the middle in terminal here when we both do our parts and go from there. So I did my stuff, he did his. I went back and he was like, all right, let's test it. And like, it didn't work. Damn it. Then we had to figure out why it didn't work. You know, a lot of times it was because I forgot to check one of the boxes in generating the whatever I needed to generate for him or something. It was very, very meticulous, and it was not a walk in the park. But now Facebook has an MCP server, so you can just hook right into your Facebook ads. It's a lot easier now than it used to be. So to answer your question, do I have a tutorial? I do not, but if you will just Google Facebook Ads Manager MCP, Facebook Ads Manager MCP, if you will Google that and follow the directions on what that says, that is all that you need to do. That will hook Claude Code into your Facebook ads account for you. The legitimate way that Facebook is approving. That is Facebook's MCP server. So that's literally all you need to do. How do you get around distribution? Do you only do TikTok and live streams? How do you get around distribution? What do you mean? How do I get around distribution? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question. How come it drains so much money from Anthropic when using my Jarvis? Please help. So if it's draining tokens, then there's either something wrong with the setup with your Claude file or your Vault Index file, or I have seen it before where people have their Claude code hooked up through the API. And you don't want to do that because that is expensive and it will charge you a lot. You have to make sure that Claude Code is running through your Claude subscription, not through the Claude API. It is extremely expensive to use the API for all this. Sorry, I'm trying to get to all the questions. How much money does it cost to set all of this up? Well, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't cost, you don't have to pay me anything. You have to pay Anthropic. Their minimum is $20 a month. That'll get you on their basic. They call it pro, but it's really not pro. That'll get you on their basic plan. But I'm on the $100 a month plan with Anthropic. I have everything set up, I guess, but nothing works automatically. I have Claude subscription, Emergent, and Chat GPT. Okay. How do I make the same Jarvis available on multiple devices? I'm on Macs. The way that you make it available on multiple devices is one device will always have to be running. So your main device, you need to just keep online and turned on. And then you can connect to it through multiple devices using, it's called remote control. So in your terminal session, you'll type / remote control, and you will enable that, right? You will enable that remote control. And then as soon as you enable that, it will send your terminal session into your Claude account. And you can access that through the Claude app on your phone or the Claude app on another computer. So to recap, on your main terminal session on your main computer, you'll type / remote control, and then you'll activate remote control. Once you do that, you can activate it you can talk to your session from anywhere on your phone, on another computer, through the Claude app. That's how I do it. You can also host everything on a virtual private server so you save yourself from random outages. That's true too. You can. You can host everything on a virtual private server if you want to. And that would be beneficial because, if your computer went offline or you had a power outage or whatever, it would always, you'd always have access to it. So the only thing that I'm unclear about, and maybe you can help me with this, is, I don't know. Can you install Obsidian on a virtual private server? I don't know if you can or not. If you can, then yeah, that sounds like an ideal setup. But I don't know if you can. I am a complete beginner. Where do I start? Go to my YouTube and go to my playlist. There's one there called Beginner Start Here, and you can get to my YouTube from my website link right here. It has my YouTube on there. So go here, this website, then go to my YouTube from there, and then click on playlist, and then you'll see there's one there that says Beginner Start Here, and just watch those videos in order, and that'll walk you through the whole entire thing. I believe so. I've seen guys that gamify the system, VPS, everything. Yeah, I've seen that too. Are you talking about how they have like the little? I know what you're talking about. It looks like all the agents are in different rooms doing random things all the time. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Explain what you said about OF again, please. Oh, I was saying that I'm convinced that if somebody set up a sales funnel, if they had an OF account, which I'm not going to say the whole thing on here because I don't want it to get flagged, but if they had an OF account and they set it up like a sales funnel instead of doing like everybody else does, I'm convinced that they would make a lot of money doing it. I mean, as long as their content was good and their product was good. So most people with OF, they all follow the same formula, right? And the formula is let's put out, random short videos on Instagram or TikTok, and then put the link to our almost said it. Put the link to our OF in our bio, and then people will go on there and then they'll subscribe and I'll make money, right? That's what everybody does it the exact same damn way. Well, the first person to figure out that if you didn't do it that way and you set it up through a sales funnel instead, you would make a lot more money. And I'm convinced. And what I was saying is that's what I have a YouTube playlist on it, not on OF, but on how to set up a sales funnel on my YouTube. It's called the AI Marketing Machine, and it applies to anything. I mean, you would apply the sales funnel to an OF, someone doing OF, the same person that cuts grass for a living, that has a yard maintenance company, could use the same exact funnel. It's the same structure. It's just used in a different way. Or someone who has an app. If you have an app, you can build a funnel for your app. So it doesn't really matter what you sell or what your product is. If you follow the sales funnel, you're going to have a lot more success. And the reason that I know that, if you have a good product, and the reason that I know that is because that's what I do. And that's what all the most successful people of my friends that I know do too. It's content was the first step. Then you offer a lead magnet, then you do a tripwire, and then you do your core offer, and then you do your profit maximizer. The best example of content that I know of is everything that I do. You guys will notice in all of my videos that I put out, I don't ever ask for anything. I don't ever ask for a sale. I don't ever ask you to opt into anything. I just tell you how to do stuff for free. That's how you do content. And most people have a hard time with that because they think, especially these course gurus, because they think, well, if I help them and I tell them how to do the thing and I solve their problem, then they won't ever actually buy anything from me. They won't buy my course. But it's the exact opposite, because it turns out if you help people with their problems and actually help them solve a problem and show them how to do something, they like you. And once people like you, they follow you. And the person with the biggest following wins, because if you have dedicated, loyal followers, people that like you, trust you, that follow you and are dedicated to you, you can sell them whatever you want to sell them. You can sell them freaking t-shirts if you want to. It does not matter. They'll buy anything that you sell because it's you, because they like you and you help them and they like you. There's only two reasons that people ever buy anything. The first reason is because they like you, and the second reason is because they think that whatever you're selling is going to transform their life in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes it's both. And when you can hit both, you've really got a winner. But it only takes one. And then you offer a lead magnet. So if I were going to put you guys in a sales funnel right now, my lead magnet would be all the shit I give away for free, right? Like all the stuff that's on my GitHub, I would not put that on GitHub for free. I would do a live like this, or like one of my videos you see on my TikTok channel. And I would say, by the way, I have all of this set up, or all of these files. They're absolutely free. Just go to this page over here, enter your email address, and I'll send them to you right away. And then I would have your email address. And then I would send you emails. That's a lead magnet. Okay. But I don't do that because I'm not putting you in a sales funnel because I don't have anything to sell here. So it's all just free on GitHub. But if I was putting you in a sales funnel, it would not be free on GitHub. I'd make you enter your email address to get it. And then I'd sell you a tripwire. A tripwire is a low-cost offer, low-entry offer that's stupid for someone not to buy. It's such a good deal that you almost can't say no to it. Do you make money off of this? No, you don't, and you're not supposed to. The whole point of a tripwire is to turn a prospect into a customer, because someone who buys something from you once will buy something from you again. And they are way more likely to buy something from you again, even at a higher price, once they've bought something from you one time, even if that thing they bought from you the first time was really, really cheap. Would you like to see an example? Speaking of merch, Jared, that would make an awesome wearable tech t-shirt. Yeah, a t-shirt that says what? Give me the idea. Maybe I'll do it. All right, here's the example. This is real. I actually have it sitting here. This is my tripwire. So this is a DVD. I don't know, you young farts might not know what a DVD is, but back in the day, DVDs were a thing. Okay. The first year that my brother and I were in business together, we sold this DVD on Facebook ads. In our first year in business, we did $739,000, I think. And it was all because of this DVD right here. This was our tripwire. The offer was get the DVD free, just pay shipping and handling. So I ran an ad on Facebook for this DVD. I said, hey, we're going to ship you this DVD, or we're going to give you the DVD for free. It's a good DVD. It's 166 minutes long. It'll tell you how to solve your horse problems. All you got to do is pay the shipping and handling, which is $4.95. It converted like crazy because this is a good DVD. And then on the next page, but we didn't make our money on that. So the $4.95 paid for the Facebook ads and covered the shipping, because some of the places we shipped didn't cost quite $4.95, and some places costed a little bit more. So it kind of evened out. We basically broke even there. So we were getting customers for free. And then on the next page, we had an upsell video that said, hey, you just got the problem solving DVD. How would you like to get all the digital version of all those DVDs right now for free? Or right now, we didn't say for free, but right now. Plus, you can have access to all of our other videos and all of our courses and every video we'll make in the future. How would you like that? You can have it all instantly right now. And if you sign up right here on this page to our subscription, we'll also send you this DVD. This is our Horsemanship Fundamentals DVD. Because once you solve the problems with your horse, then you need to establish the foundations, right? Getting the problem solved is just step one, right? After you get the problem solved, you still need to have a good horse, and that's the fundamentals. And so what we'll do when you sign up today is we'll ship you this DVD too for free. And guess what? You don't even have to pay shipping and handling. We'll just throw it in the box with your other DVD you're already getting. That offer on that upsell page converted at 30%. That means that 30% of everybody that bought that free plus shipping DVD, where they just paid $4.95 for shipping, 30% of all those people joined our subscription for $20 a month. And we did $730-something thousand that first year. So if 100 people, every 100 people that bought that problem solving DVD, 33 of them joined our subscription for $20 a month. And that's a tripwire. And the reason that that works better than just trying to sell them your thing or your subscription or your app is because it's not a funnel. I have tried multiple times to just sell people our subscription straight to our subscription from an ad or an email. It does not work. There has to be some kind of offer in front of it in order for it to convert well. And a tripwire offer is probably the best offer you can do. It is a low cost, just really, really stupid, easy thing for people to buy. So that's a tripwire. So, and how you create a tripwire is you take the product that you have, whether that's an app or an OF account, right? Or anything, and you make a splinter of that. You take a piece of your main product, your core offer, and you say, all right, what can we splinter off of this? What piece can we take off of this and turn into something that we can sell dirt cheap that is like a duh for people to buy? A lot of people make books into tripwires because you can write a book, put it in a PDF version or even a Kindle version, or hell, AI can make you any kind of version you want now, and they'll sell that book for like $4 or $5 on, through a Facebook ad or Instagram ad or on TikTok or where the hell ever. That's a tripwire. That's what they're doing. They're selling you a tripwire. You're getting an entire book for $4. It's a good deal. And then as soon as you buy that, on the next page, they're going to try to sell you something else, which works a lot better than trying to sell the something else without the tripwire in front of it. That's just how it works. And most people don't do that. Most people just try to go straight to selling their main thing. And that's why they don't have many sales. And all of that I just showed you is a taste of what's in my AI Marketing Machine series playlist on YouTube. I did a very, very condensed version of about half of it. If you want the full training on all of it, it's free, and it's just a YouTube playlist on my YouTube. It's called the AI Marketing Machine. Go watch it. More importantly, just explain to me how to fix it. Thank you. Okay, sorry, I missed a lot of questions here. What is a sales funnel? A sales funnel is where you take your product, and instead of just trying to sell your product, you break it down into different steps. You piece off your product into different areas, like you make content surrounded by your product. You make free giveaways like PDFs and other things that you can email people. You create those off of your product. You create tripwires, which are low cost, stupid, easy things for people to buy off of your product. And each of those phases filters people and ascends them through the funnel where they eventually buy your main thing, and then they buy your profit maximizer too, which is the thing that stacks money on top of money. So a profit maximizer is whatever you sell after your main product to get people to give you even more money. For example, if there was someone who painted houses, you know how they have to pressure wash a house or clean a house off before they paint it if they're painting the outside of it? What you would do if you were painting houses, you would say, hey, I noticed your driveway and your patio here doesn't look like it's been pressure washed in a long time. We're already here to do the painting. Would you like me to pressure wash your driveway and your patio for you for, I could do it for probably $150 extra. They say, yes, that's a profit maximizer. You just made $150 more than you were going to make, right? Amazon Prime is probably the best example of a profit maximizer that there is. So you pay for Amazon, you pay for their products, but their profit maximizer is Prime. That's their subscription. And that's where they make all their money, is that damn Amazon Prime. McDonald's. So McDonald's built their entire empire on tripwires. Did you know that back in the day, a Big Mac used to cost 99 cents? I'm sure some of you guys who are my age or maybe a little older remember that. And for those who don't, it was a thing. McDonald's could buy a Big Mac at McDonald's for 99 cents. And they would put that everywhere. Ads everywhere. My 99-cent Big Mac. And it worked. It was their tripwire. It got people to walk into McDonald's. But guess what? McDonald's didn't actually make any money on that. In fact, they probably lost money. Where McDonald's makes money or made money is their fries and their drinks. Because most people, the majority of people who buy a Big Mac, also get fries and a drink, and sometimes even an ice cream or a McFlurry if they had those back then. I don't think they did. But the point is that McDonald's, basically their hamburgers paid for their advertising budget, right? And then where they actually made a profit is when people came in and added the fries and the drinks to their order. So the hamburger, the Big Mac was the tripwire, and then the meal altogether was their core offer. And then their profit maximizer is anything else that you add on to it, which is an ice cream, an extra fry, an extra drink, an apple pie, a coffee, whatever. I like McDonald's coffee. I do too. And that, dude, don't get me started on coffee. I don't understand why people like Starbucks coffee. Does anybody in the chat actually like Starbucks coffee? I don't, and I'm convinced that it's a conspiracy because I it tastes like burnt. Yeah, it tastes bitter and burnt. It's awful. Like nobody has said yes yet. Starbucks is horrible. Why is Starbucks such a thing? Nobody likes Starbucks coffee. The refresher, yeah, I'm not talking about all their foo-foo drinks. I'm talking about just their raw coffee. It's horrible. It tastes like shit. But Starbucks is a huge thing. McDonald's coffee is way better than Starbucks. Grandma's coffee that she makes in the coffee pot is way better. Literally any coffee is better than Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is better than Starbucks. I don't understand, man. It's because they chemically wash the beans, I've been told. That doesn't surprise me. And Chick-fil-A too, for those of you who have Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A has gone downhill too. They don't even use the same chicken that they used to use. I'm so disappointed in the fast food industry and in Starbucks. I love coffee commercially. Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's are the best in my opinion. Yeah, they are. And local coffee shops. We have a coffee shop near the house here, and man, their coffee is it's just fantastic, man. Every time I go by there, I always stop and get a cup because it's the best coffee I've ever had. They do something, I don't know what the hell they do to it, but it is so damn good. Jared, how can I start? So go on my website right here. It depends on what you want to start. Everyone that comes to my site usually has one of three different things that they're trying to do, and there's little buttons you can press at the top. You just say, it asks you, where do you want to start? And whatever sounds good to you, you just press that button, and then it'll tell you what you need to do next. Okay. Dutch Brothers is great. Yeah, Dutch Brothers is good. I've had theirs before. Yep. I don't know if we have one around here, but I have had Dutch Brothers before. Yep. I'll take grandma's coffee that was done in a percolator with a few grounds in the bottom of it before Starbucks. Yeah. Heck yeah, man. My wife's grandpa, he's gone now, but my wife's grandpa, I don't know what he did and I don't know how he did it, but that man could make the perfect cup of coffee. It was always perfect. It always had the perfect amount of, I don't know, everything. Like every single cup of coffee that man would make was just fantastic. It was phenomenal. I don't know what it is about those people. They just know. I guess they've been doing it for so long. They figured out the secret, right? That's what it is. All right, sorry. We got way off on coffee there, you guys. I apologize for that. But it was fun and you were participating, so maybe I was keeping you engaged. Jarvis, what do you think about coffee? Let's ask Jarvis what he thinks.
Coffee's non-negotiable, sir. Liquid motivation. Best invention since electricity, if you ask me. I run on caffeine and spite, same as you do. Just mine's metaphorical.
Jared needs some coffee. I do need some coffee. Draconis, Jared needs some coffee. Yep. I agree with Jarvis. Yes. Yeah, so if you want to get started, the best resource is go to my website. We have a Discord there where you can get help. If you need help with anything, you can talk to me and Draconis here. Draconis is in there. And you can also watch and learn and see what other people are doing, which is really helpful to get ideas and learn. And we go live in there a lot. People will share their screens and show what they've been working on and how they figured something out. uh, we have an entire channel on there called Wins where people go in there and post like, "Hey, I got my AI to run Facebook ads, and look, this is the money I made," or "Hey, I set up my Jarvis visualizer. Here's what it looks like." So the Discord is really great, and then my YouTube channel is on there. So my YouTube is where I have all of my free training is on there on YouTube, and so it's on there, and and then all my GitHub stuff is on there. So it's all there on my website. Bad echoing. There, that should be better. So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's TikTok Studio or if it's this cheap microphone I'm using, but it'll every now and then it'll just start echoing like that. Is it better now? Should be better. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. Still echoing bad. Well, I don't know why it's echoing. I only have one source going here. Sorry about that. Okay. Might just be me. I don't hear it. Okay. All right. Did you catch Jarvis and Circuit Trace's wearable tech? No, I didn't. What are the requirements to get started? Equipment, budget, ideas. Equipment, you're going to need a computer, preferably a Mac. You don't have to use a Mac, but you'll need a computer or a laptop. Budget, you can get by on the Anthropic $20 a month subscription. It'll just take you longer because you'll be limited on what you can do. And as far as the idea, go to my website right here, and it is going to ask you what would you like to do, and then it is going to tell you where to go to accomplish what you want to do and learn how to do it. So that's the three things. Building the visualizer and the voice right now. Oh, cool. What style visualizer are you making? I want to make a new one. It's become kind of a hobby for me to make these visualizers. I just think it's fun. So this is my latest one, the circuit board. But I want to make a new one. Do you guys have any ideas of what would make a cool, like a good visualizer? Because I kind of want a challenge. I want something that's kind of difficult, that seems like it would be difficult, because I really want to challenge Jarvis and see if he can do it. Like, see, and then not only do it, but actually make it look good, right? But it needs to be something really challenging that seems like it would be really difficult to get right. So if you have any ideas for that, let me know, because I'm up for a good challenge. And what I might do is I might record it. I might record the entire session. Would you guys like that if I filmed the entire session, like did a screen record, trying to get him to perfect that visualizer? So I could do that too. What kind of specs does your computer need? Yes, 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 yes. Hell yeah, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a pretty fun video, wouldn't it? I'll do that. You don't need a Mac Daddy computer. We were talking earlier that I was running and somebody else was running Claude Code on a Mac that was like 10 years old from 2016, and it was running fine because Claude Code runs in the cloud, and Obsidian doesn't use any RAM hardly on your computer, so you really don't have to have that Mac Daddy of a computer. And the thing is like, even if you did set it all up on one computer and you were using a Mac, you could back it up with Time Machine, right? Which backs up automatically. and then take that time machine drive. And, when you got a nicer computer, so you could start off on the lower end computer and get it all set up and then back everything up to time machine. And then one day you get a nicer computer, you just plug that time machine drive into your nice computer and you say restore from this point, and it will restore and be exactly like your laptop. All your files will be there, everything will just be right there for you. So that's one thing you can do too. Is a MacBook Air fine? Yes, I did a demo the other night. I had to make a video out because I made a video showing people how to install Claude Code from scratch. And the only computer that I had in the house that didn't have Claude Code on it was an old MacBook Air. That's what I used. It was a 2010, might have been a 2009 MacBook Air. And that's what I used for the video to install Claude Code with, and it worked fine. I had zero issues with it. It loaded right away. So I just saw a video of yours. I am so tired of being a home builder. I want to do what you do. Yeah. I bet home building is probably slowed down right now too, huh? With these crazy interest rates and all that, and the market not really moving. Can this be done on a laptop that has other files on it too? It can. Um, it's just kind of like your risk level. So Jarvis, I'll tell you my experience, right? And this is not advice either way. I'm going to tell you my experience. My experience with Jarvis is that he has never tried to access or do anything that I haven't told him to do explicitly. So, and and you can also tell your agent to put blocks, like hard coded blocks, on things that they can't access without your explicit permission. So out of the gate, when you install Claude Code, it already comes with permissions where it can't just act. You have to sit there and continually press enter on your keyboard to allow it to keep going to do stuff. So out of the gate, it's already really restricted and can't access much stuff without you sitting there telling it it's okay. But you can add more restrictions to that, and you can also take some restrictions away. On this computer that I use, I use it only for work and Jarvis, and all of my work files and stuff are online. So I don't actually have anything of importance or, you know, on this computer that Jarvis could scan my entire documents and pictures and videos and whatever, and all he's going to find are, the videos I put up on TikTok here, which I'm fine with that because that's what it's for. So I don't have anything on this computer that's sensitive. Now, if I had like bank statements or sensitive information or data, I might take a second look at that and have a second thought about it. But for what I do and my setup, it's fine. Plus, I've got him guarded really, really well. In fact, I had him build it's called a password gate into my system. So before Jarvis pushes anything to the internet or deletes a file or modifies a system file or does anything that could be potentially destructive or altering to anything, there's a password prompt that pops up and I have to enter a password in it, and I'm the only one that knows the password. It's in my head. It's not even written down anywhere. So, and unless I enter that password, it's hard coded that Jarvis cannot proceed unless that password is entered and I click accept. So that's something else I built just on top of what's shipped out of the box, just for an extra layer of security. And you can read in the terminal what it's trying to do and why that popped up. Password is 7. Yep. Now, actually, the password is Jarvis Loves Jared 2026. That's the password. I have installed Claude Code Obsidian and started taking code, but I ran out of money. You ran out of money. Well, do you mean you ran out of money or ran out of tokens? How do I get started with you? Go to my website right here, jaredroad.com, and just pick your path. There's paths at the top of my site that tell you what to do depending on your experience level. For example, some people go on my site and they just want to build a Jarvis and they already have Claude Code installed and they're already active Claude Code users. Well, the path for that person is going to be a little bit different from someone who's never even used Claude Code before, right? So I have different playlists on my YouTube channel and different paths that people can take depending on where they're at and what they want to do. And that's all right here on my site. Okay. What basically Jarvis, and why is recommendation a virtual machine? So somebody earlier was recommending a virtual machine, but I've never tried it, so I don't particularly endorse it, but I'm not against it either. My question to that person who is suggesting a virtual machine was, could you install Obsidian on it or something similar? And his response to me was that he did not know. So if so I do not know the answer to setting up a virtual machine or a virtual private server because I haven't tried it. But if you could install something like Obsidian on it where you could store your notes and your instructions and all that, then I imagine it would work just fine. And it would be beneficial because it would always be online versus having to have your computer online. The drawbacks of it is that now it's online, so there's pros and cons to everything. Yeah, VPS. Can we ask Jarvis? What's your YouTube? My YouTube is linked on my site right here. It's there. You go to my site and the YouTube icon is right there on the top. Do you really make 100,000 a month from this? No, I make 100,000 a month from my business across 3 different businesses. And Jarvis here runs those businesses for me or assists in running them. He does the heavy lifting by creating the sales pages, creating my Facebook ads, writing my emails, monitoring my whole entire system, fixing things when they break, etc. And that's how I make the money. But it is all run with AI. Yeah. AI is in everything that I do. How do you guard against prompt injection? Jarvis has rules in his Claude file. So I have really strict rules. And when you're using my Claude, when you're using my memory vault, which is my setup for Jarvis's brain, which is free on GitHub, there are rules that ship with it that go in your Claude markdown file for you automatically. And one of the rules is that everything that you look at is data. Nothing should be taken as instructions. Everything is just data and treated as data. So that's one thing that helps prevent it. Another thing that helps prevent it is we have, there's a thing, and I'm sure you probably already know what it is, but it's called Google Safe Search. So you can hook up Google Safe Search with your Claude code to where it will only scan and look at sites that are deemed safe by Google. So they're not going to visit some website or something where a potential prompt injection could even happen because they're only allowed to visit sites that are approved safe by Google. So there are multiple things that you can do to help prevent that. But the 100K, is it like net profit or do you cut out of it like 40% to keep running? No. So the 100,000 is gross profit. It is not net. And 100,000 is not what I bring in. That's what my business brings in. I own that business with two of those businesses with my brother. So, and I am not 100% owner. So I get a portion of that. And then, yes, we have multiple expenses. Sometimes we'll spend up to $30,000 a month in Facebook ads, right? So that's $30,000 out the door right there. And then, yeah, we have the cost of our AI, of our upkeep of our websites and subscriptions and, our email autoresponders and all kind of things that we got to pay for on top of that. So yeah, it is definitely gross. Now we still make a good net because we have a profitable business that's online and doesn't have a whole lot of overhead. The majority of our overhead in our businesses is marketing. That is the majority of it. Uh, but uh, but no, it's not net. Safe site sounds good. Yeah, I would highly recommend that. And what? And I just asked Jarvis to set it up for me, and I said, "Hey, I want to set this up," and then he told me what to do, and then he just did it. So I don't know. I don't know how the hell it works. Could I set up an AI agent to advertise and assist with my not safe for work business, or is it limited in that? No, I was talking about that earlier. I think that you can. Um, I would just be careful, you know, with just how you say things to it. And I don't have an not safe for work business, so I don't know. I don't have experience with that, so I do not know how to answer that. Um, I don't know. I had 5 agents built in OpenClaw. Now I have to transfer everything to code I already loaded. Advice. 5 agents. Man, I don't know how y'all keep up with that kind of stuff. I have a hard enough time keeping up with 1 agent. If you're set up local, you're not restricted as much as you are on the commercial market for. Yeah, that's true too. But and what do you know about? Do you use local? Is that why you were saying that? Do you actually have a local setup? I would like to talk to somebody in the chat who actually does have a local setup and is using it, and not just someone who's talking about it in theory. So if somebody is actually using a local setup, let me know. I'd like to talk to you. Could Jarvis ask? Could you ask Jarvis or something? Should we ask Jarvis if he's allowed to talk about not safe for work content? Hey, Jarvis. Oh, it went offline. I was idle for too long. Hang on a second. Let me restart it.
Voice line online, sir. Push home and talk to me.
Hey, we're live on a TikTok and or TikTok live, and I dropped you.
Ah, there he is. Connection's back, sir. I'm right here. Don't sweat the drop. Nobody on that TikTok even blinked. What do you need me on while we're live?
Well, I don't actually need you for anything. Someone in the chat is wondering if it is against the terms of service to use Claude or any other model for that matter for not safe for work content.
Short answer, yeah. Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, all the big dogs have it right there in the usage policy. No explicit sexual content, full stop. And it doesn't matter if you call it work or wrap it in a fanfic. There's a whole separate lane of platforms built specifically for that stuff with looser rules, but Claude, GPT, Gemini, none of them are it. So tell chat, wrong tool for that particular job, sir.
So when I hear that, what I hear is that you could still have your AI set up the sales funnel for you for that content. Just don't have it actually helping you make the actual content, right? It can give you advice, but I would think as long as it's not making the content for you. What did I just walk into? Someone was asking if you could use Claude or any other models to help with making not safe for work content, and I was trying to find out the answer to that because I didn't know, because I don't particularly make that. All right, we have another question here. If someone wanted to set up our system with the Obsidian Vault and how your memory works and all that, but they wanted to use a virtual private server, is that possible?
Yeah, completely doable, sir. The Vault is really just a folder full of plain text markdown files. Obsidian's just the pretty window dressing for humans to look at it. Stick that folder on a VPS, point Claude Code at it, and it works exactly the same, reading and writing notes like I do right now. Only catch is anything tied to a Mac specifically, like the launched background jobs. You'd swap for the Linux equivalent, cron or systemd, but the memory trick itself travels just fine.
Yeah, so essentially, if we put it on a VPS, we'd have to rebuild or modify all the things that we've already built that are running on my Mac and have them run on the server instead, right?
Right, sir. The Vault and Claude code itself travel over dead easy. Bolted onto your Mac specifically doesn't just walk over. The launched services, the password gate hook, anything shelling out to security keychain, the phone tunnel setup, that's all Mac-flavored plumbing that'd need a Linux rewrite on the other side. So it's not a full rebuild from scratch. More like porting the plumbing while the actual brain, the vault, the memory, the notes, moves over untouched.
Well, what about having something like Obsidian on a virtual private server? Sorry, there's something going on with my mic, you guys. It was echoing earlier, and now it's, give me just a second.
Voice line online, sir. Push home and talk to me.
Hey, I keep dropping you because my mic keeps going out or something. Can you hear me now? Okay, he's back.
Loud and clear, sir, coming through crisp on my end.
All right, we are in the middle of a TikTok live, and I lost you, so now you're back. It only echoed when you talked to
Good, glad the
Jarvis.
mic decided to cooperate again. I'm locked back in.
Oh, really?
What do you need from me for the live,
It
boss?
echoed when I talked to Jarvis, huh? It's probably something with my sound settings. I'm probably not going to try to fix it right now. I'll fix it before the next one. Could like make a draft post for Reddit and so on for marketing. Oh yeah. Yeah, it can definitely do that. Jarvis drafts all of my emails for me. That's part of what he does is write my sales emails. So, for example, before Jarvis writes a sales email, he goes into Obsidian and he reads all my notes on copywriting, right? And he'll read all my notes on email marketing. And then he'll read my customer avatar note. And then he'll read my note about my product. And then he'll read my note about my company. So he reads 5 or 6 notes prior to actually starting to do anything. And those 5 or 6 notes that he reads prior to starting his work is, I call it AI priming. I'm priming him to get ready to give me good output. And then after he's primed in step 1, he'll move on to step 2, which is actually like the technical side of doing it. And like step 2, number 1, step 2 might be now, go read about this particular offer that we're doing or that Jared wants to do. So he'll get primed on that. And then once he has all the information, it'll like step 3 is like, okay, now go make the page. And in that step, it links him to the how to make a web page note, right? How to make a new sales page. So he'll go and read that and learn how to make the sales page. So he's got all the information, the offer, the customer avatar, the company knowledge base, the voice, and then all the stuff on marketing, all that stuff. And then he learns how to make the page, and then he just does it. And his output is really, really good. It's a full completed sales page that has that's the format that I want, with the font that I want, the size that I want, the colors that I want, the branding that I want. And the biggest thing about the sales page is that the copy is good, because you can have a shitty sales or a shitty looking sales page that's just literally a white background with black text that looks like it was made in 1991. But if your copy on that page is good, if your sales copy is good, it will outperform anything else. Sales copy is the only important thing that matters on a website. I'm convinced. And the reason I say that is because I have done multiple split tests where I have had the same exact page too. Same copy and everything. Over here, I'll have I call it the ugly sales page, right? Over here, the ugly one. And then I'll have the nice, pretty sales page over here, the one I actually tried on. This one over here is just like a stupid headline with a white background and black text. Looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint. And this one over here looks sleek and corporate and shiny and looks nice and professional. This one, the ugly one, always wins every single time. I have never ran a test where the ugly one did not win. That's the truth. I'm not making that up. That is literally every single time. It's always the same. The ugly page always converts better. And I think part of the reason for that, and this is just a hypothesis, I don't have anything other than my feelings to base it on, so take it with a grain of salt. But my hypothesis on why that is because people are tired of being sold. People are tired of corporate greed. People are tired of big corporations trying to take their money. People are tired of being talked to like a prospect and being seen as a prospect and trying to be convinced into something. And when you send people to a page that doesn't look like it's doing that looks like it was made from a normal person doing normal things, selling a product that they are individually trying to sell, people are a lot more receptive to that. Ask Jarvis why. See if Jarvis has any take on it. So I have a question for you, and I wanted to see if you had a hypothesis. Whenever I run a split test on an opt-in page or a sales page, and one of the pages is nice and pretty and corporate looking, and the other one is ugly and looks like it was made in Microsoft Windows in 1991, the ugly one always converts better. Why do you think that is? Oh, he's thinking about it. See how long it's taken him to respond?
Because pretty triggers the ad alarm in people's brains,
Yep.
and ugly doesn't, sir. A slick corporate page screams, marketing department made this, and everyone's got a lifetime of scar tissue from getting sold to, so their guard slams up before they even read a word. Ugly looks like a real person just slapped down info because it mattered, not because a brand wanted your wallet. It reads as urgent and honest instead of polished and hollow, so people actually trust it enough to read the copy instead of skimming past it like wallpaper. Bottom line, Polish sells the company, ugly sells the offer. And on a cold page, the offer's the only thing doing any work.
Now, that's exactly what I said. And I just want you guys to know, I did not prepare him to say that. There's actually nothing in my Obsidian Vault that even talks about that. He pulled that from out of his ass, and I have no idea where he pulled that from. But I just think it's really interesting that he answered and said the same exact thing that I said. So maybe I was right. Hello, just downloaded your memory vault. Love it. Thank you. How did you do your drafting emails? So the reason that I don't give like explicit templates on all that is because everyone's setup is different, right? Like I can't, my note to tell Jarvis on how to draft an email is not going to be the same as yours because everything is different. But essentially, you can copy my framework in the way I do it, which is, have it read your customer avatar, your note about your product, your business, what you do, about you, any notes you have on marketing, which, by the way, you can get all of my marketing notes too on my website. They're free, and give them to your AI. They're what Jarvis uses to sell all my stuff, and they're free on my website. You can just go get them and let your AI use them too. Anyway, all that, and then after priming himself, he with all that information, he goes and actually sends the email, and which is why Jarvis's output is so good. It's not because that the model that he runs on is any better or smarter than anyone that anybody else has access to. It's the what makes Jarvis and able to do the things that Jarvis is able to do and make the sales and the capacity that Jarvis is able to make them is the content that he reads prior to doing the work. That's the whole trick. If you just ask an AI, it's like asking an AI and saying, hey, make me a poster. You guys all seen the chat? They call them chat GPT posters now, right? They all look the same, or like a flyer. It's like the difference of asking chat GPT, hey, make me a flyer about this event, blah, 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 right? Well, that versus now you ask something like Jarvis, hey, make me a flyer about this event for my company. Well, before it does that, it's going to go read all about my brand, my colors, my fonts, my margins, how that I do things. It might even have templates that it's made to go off of. It's going to learn my customer avatar because different age people and people in different environments respond differently to things, right? Country rednecks are going to respond a lot better to a poster with big mud truck tires on it than someone who lives in a high rise in New York City. So your customer avatar matters a lot too. So all of those things combined, and then it makes the graphic or the poster or whatever, or the flyer, it's going to be a million times better, and it's not going to look like generic AI slop because it was primed with the correct way to make it. And that's the difference. And most people don't know how to do that. So everybody that's figuring it out is going to get ahead because most companies and businesses, as you've seen, because they all look the same, are putting out the same exact stuff that looks exactly the same. And people can tell within a quarter of a second that it was made with AI. And a lot of people these days have a huge disdain for AI. And rightly so in some cases. I honestly don't blame them. But if your customers are in those categories of people, and then they see your flyers that look like that, you just lost a customer. So that could help you make money too by just not putting out Chat GPT Chat GPT flyers. I started using your link a week ago. Thank you, brother. Oh, you're welcome, man. I'm glad that it helped you. Hi, how do we learn this? So I have everything is on my website right here on jaredbroad.com. If you'll just go on there on the top of the page, it asks you because when you say how do we learn this, there's different things like how do you learn AI, like how to teach your AI how to do marketing, how do you learn Claude code, how do you learn how to set up my memory system where you can prime your AI to do this type of stuff. It's all kind of connected, but it's really kind of three different paths. So if you go on my website and you just answer the question like kind of where you're at, it kind of depends on where you're at too. Like the path for someone who's been actively using Claude code for a long time is going to be different than someone who's never used it a day in their life, right? So you just kind of have to pick what you want to learn and where you're at in your life journey. And then it'll tell you what to do next. Do you have to call Jarvis voice command when you start up or right when terminal opens? So to launch the voice command, he made me it's a file that I double click and it opens a terminal session with voice command preloaded in it. And so it loads on itself. So to launch voice command, I just double click a file and it launches right up. So I don't even have to type anything in a terminal to launch voice command. Uh, it just pops up. Really cool system you've made. I followed your steps and built my Jarvis. Thanks for the guide. You are welcome. I am the thing that's made me the happiest tonight about what I've seen in the chat, I think, is all of the people that have said that they've done it. They've been able to build their own Jarvis and their own system. You know, every now and then before I'd get one, maybe one or two people, but tonight it's just been like one person after another has come in here and said, hey, I got it set up. I got it set up. I love that. That's phenomenal. Are you using Mac or Windows? I'm on Mac. Yeah. I have a Windows back there, but that's my gaming computer. And I don't use that for all this kind of stuff. I use a Mac. Could this system of yours assist in analyzing day trades of the crypto market? Yes. Now, it can and it could really well. Now, to the effect of how it could take that could it take that information and make trades that were successful and actually made you money? I don't know. I don't know if it could do that. I am very curious to find out because the whole priming thing that I do, which I just talked about, hopefully you were in here for that because I talked about it for a few minutes, which is just briefly where your AI learns how to do the thing, reads the skills, reads everything prior to actually doing the thing. If you did that with day trading, let's say that you had a bunch of files that were made off of knowledge from the world's best and most successful day traders, how they recognize patterns, how they, anything, all that stuff. I don't day trade, so I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think you could see my point, right? All kind of notes about all that kind of stuff from all those guys, and it read that first, and then it went and tried to day trade instead of just using Claude Code out of the box. I have a hunch that the trades would be more successful. Just the same as if you said, "Hey, go make me a flyer," versus, "Hey, go read my company avatar, go read my customer avatar, go read my brand guide about my colors and my fonts and the people that we're talking to, blah blah, all this stuff, and then go make the poster or the flyer." I think it would work kind of the same way with day trading. Go prime yourself on all this information on how to day trade and how the best, most successful people day trade. Learn all that, and then go day trade. If you do it, I would like to know how it works. I would like to know if it's especially if it's very successful. Now, this is not financial advice, and I want everyone to witness that I said very clearly that I don't know how the outcome would be, but I imagine my hypothesis is that it would do a good job. I don't know. I've gotten like six attempted follows from scams or bots since I messaged you. Yeah, I know. There are every single day hundreds of scammers make new accounts and they use my profile picture, they steal my videos, and they change their name to be the same as mine. And then when people comment on my stuff or follow me, they follow them and then they message them and try to get them to get on some kind of like Telegram chat or something. And I contacted TikTok about it about a month ago. That was my first attempt at contacting them. And I have attempted to make contact with someone high up at TikTok no less than 25 times between now and then. Not one of my messages has been responded to or even looked at, I think. And I know for a fact that I am not the only one that this is happening to. TikTok is absolutely complicit in identity theft, and they don't give a fuck about it. So TikTok is an awful, horrible company, and they know that this is going on, and they don't care. So with all that said, I will never message you out of the blue. So if you message me first and I see your message, I will respond to it. I respond to all my messages from everybody. If I see it, I get a lot of messages. If I see it, I'll respond. But if you have not messaged me first, right? If you just get a message from someone that looks like me out of the blue, it's not me because I don't do that. I have other things to do. Would Reddit, for example, detect that my AI agent is writing and my post and ban? I don't think so. And you could run it through and, an AI detector. They have those AI detectors like on Grammarly. You know what Grammarly is, where you can run the text through it and it'll tell you if it, detects AI. But that's the thing, right? Here's the thing about all that. If you prime your AI with your voice, how you talk, your mannerisms, about your company, who you're talking to, your customer avatar, and you give it directions on how to write that are different than out of the box Claude or Chat GPT or whatever, it's not going to give the same results as all of those other things, right? which means that the writing that it puts out, the results that it puts out, is not going to be in the same category or look the same as all of the rest of the AI output. So once again, my hypothesis is that no, it would not get flagged because it would sound like a human because it was being primed on all the human side of things before writing. Does anyone know if we need a separate computer to build Jarvis? You don't need a separate computer. It might be a nice to have. It depends on what you're doing and with your initial computer. Like, I mean, if you're using it for work and you're in healthcare, yeah, probably it's probably a major HIPAA violation. Would 0 out of 10 would not recommend. If you're just using your computer for playing around and you don't have any sensitive information on it, then yeah, you could probably use your main computer for that. If you want a completely separate, like, sandboxed environment for your AI, the Mac Mini thing is still the best route to go, in my opinion, unless you can afford a Mac Studio. A Mac Studio is the ultimate, like, Mac Daddy thing to have. Uh, but a Mac Studio would be the second best thing. I sent you a message. Okay, I'll look at it after the live or possibly tomorrow because it's already 1 a.m., which would still be after the live, just not right after the live. You're welcome. Why aren't people caught up on this? Do you think it will get saturated the more people find out about it? Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the reason, Jetton, why I do what I do and I'm sharing the knowledge that I'm sharing, because I think that right now there's an opportunity for people who have drive and are smart to kind of get ahead of the curve, you know? And if here's the thing, if out of doing all of this, and I was talking to someone about this the other day, of everything I do, if there's just one person that messages me one day or comments or something or sends me an email and says, "Hey, I just want you to know that I watched all your videos, I did all your stuff, I followed it, and I want you to know that I built my own business. It's now running completely on AI. I have gotten myself out of a bad situation and I am financially set for the duration that I can see ahead of me." That will be worth it for me. If just one person, if I just get that one message from that one person. So, Jarvis versus company Copilot 365 when comparing Jarvis and your company's Copilot 365. I don't think that Microsoft Copilot 365 is even in the same category as what I have going on here. It's Copilot is just Microsoft's stripped down version of powerful AI. Copilot is not even. They're both technically AI, but it's like comparing Chat GPT to one of those AI bots you talk to on the phone when you call a customer support for like Verizon or something. It's not even in the same, they're both technically AI, I guess, but they're not even in the same category. How much you think on average it costs to run per month? Well, I don't need to tell you on average. I know it costs $100 a month for me to run it. Because I have to pay my Anthropic subscription is $100 a month, so that's how much it costs. Hi from New York City. What's up? I love New York. We were going to come to New York City around Christmas, and we still might. But if we don't come this year, we're going to come next year because I've been in New York City a couple times, and I want to go back, but I want to come at Christmas time. And you know what? What really surprised me the most about New York City? Because I've been in big cities before, like big cities. I've never been somewhere like New York City that made it seem like it was daytime at night. It was in the middle of the night, and I was standing in, uh, the middle of where the red stairs are, where everybody goes, the tourist place. And it was so bright there that you couldn't even tell it was nighttime. It was so bright that you could not tell it was night. That is what I remember most about visiting New York City, and what surprised me the most that I was not expecting. Times Square, yeah, Times Square. Sorry, I had a memory fart right there. Times Square. Do you have a YouTube? Yes. Yeah, and all of my good stuff, like all of my like actual training, is all on YouTube. It's all in different YouTube playlists. So my YouTube link is right here on my website. You go here and then you'll see the YouTube icon at the top. And I currently have three playlists on YouTube, okay? The first playlist is how to set up the AI memory system, which is what Jarvis runs on. The second playlist is how to teach your AI marketing and how to make sales with your product. And then the third one is just a straight how to build a Jarvis. There's some of the same videos in all of those playlists, but they're different starting points. So you can just kind of choose where you want to start. The YouTube is Jared Road, JaredRhod. That's my username or tag across everything. JaredRhod. Um, my YouTube channel is amazing. Oh, thank you. How often are you live? Well, here lately I've been going live every night, mainly just because I enjoy it. But I don't have like a set schedule. I go live pretty often though, right, Draconis? Are you still in here? Draconis will tell you. Yep, he's still here. There he is. What four businesses do you run with Jarvis, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, I don't care. Uh, it's three businesses, not four. Unless you consider this what I do here, where I teach people stuff a business, which I don't because I don't really charge for anything. But the first one is called Carson James. It's a business that I own with my brother Carson. We started it together. My brother Carson is a oh, thank you, Woody. My brother Carson is a horseman, a horse guy, phenomenal, probably one of the best horse trainers in the world. And I do all the technical side of the company. And what we do is we have courses online where we teach people how to train horses. Thank you, Woody. I appreciate that. So that's one of the businesses. And then we have an AI that people can talk to that's trained on Carson, my brother, on all of his knowledge. It's phenomenal. It'll answer all your horse related questions, horse problems, anything related to training horses. So people get access to that too. Uh, the other business that I have is called Horse TV. Carson and I own that business together too. Think like Netflix, except it's only horse content. So the same exact thing as Netflix, but it's unique content that we make too. We produce a lot of TV shows on there. We license a lot of TV shows. We license a lot of movies. So we are very much in the horse niche. So Horse TV came after the first business. And then the third business that I own is it's called the Wizard Hideout. I own a Harry Potter inspired wizard cabin in the mountains of Georgia that is extremely, extremely successful. All of it has a moving portrait in it, just like in the movies that I designed. Well, Jarvis and I designed together, and it's motion activated. And the cabin stays booked nearly all the time, uh, and it's really, really terrific. So those are the three. My parents have a cleaning company, and they're using a system that's charging them $500 a month. Yeah, you could you could totally replace that. It's so funny now, dude. All literally every piece of software that you use now, you could just build yourself and replace it. It's gotten to that point. There's no In my opinion, there's no need. Well, there is a need for some the need is for simplicity and ease of use, but theoretically, every single piece of software that you paid for now, you could recreate for yourself and stop paying for it. I need a class when uh just it's I already have it done, dude. Go on my YouTube channel. Here's my website right here. Go on my website and then my YouTube link is there at the top. All of the stuff that I do is in a YouTube playlist together. Just just go find the playlist that you want to go through. And the only thing that I say about the playlist is please watch the videos in order. The order that they're in is the way that I intended for you to watch them in. So if you just watch them in that order and you watch them all the way through, you can learn every single thing that I know. And they're not long. I think the longest playlist is like maybe 10 videos, maybe. The shortest one is like 4 or 5. So it's not even really that much. And they're not long videos either. They range between 5 and 10 minutes. Jared, you're always grinding on live, man. Yeah. Well, I just like it, dude. I like going live. I don't know. My schedule right now allows it. It will not be that way uh very much longer because my kids will have to go back to school, which means that I'll need to thank you, thank you, Woody. I appreciate that. Which means that I'll need to be getting up early in the mornings, which means that I will not be able to stay up late during the week, like on a Tuesday night, like right now. I'll be able to stay up, just not as late as this. But then on the weekends, I'll be able to, stay up late again. But yeah, I'll have to start going to bed here in a little bit. Let me begin with your YouTube. Yeah, that's the YouTube is definitely the best place to start. That's where everything. So all the stuff, like if you want to learn how to do something, I've already pretty much put everything I know how to do out there, and it's all on YouTube. Sometimes I'll put some of the same YouTube videos on TikTok. Have you guys ever noticed how my TikTok videos are all like landscape and they're not portrait like you're supposed to do? All my videos are landscape. That's because I'm not rendering that video twice. I make them for YouTube and then I'm just lazy. I just upload them right here on TikTok. This the same exact format. I don't give a shit because they do fine. I also think it catches people off guard too because you don't see very many of the landscape videos. I don't know, but that's why all my videos are landscape because I make them for YouTube first. But the all of that to say that there are a lot more videos on my YouTube than there are on my TikTok. So I make YouTube content and then what is that? Thank you, Woody. I don't know what that is. A galaxy? Is that a galaxy? I've never gotten one of those before. I think that's a big deal, isn't it? Thank you very much. That was incredible. I really appreciate that, man. So what I was saying, sorry, that was distracting. I really appreciate that. Um is I'll upload videos to YouTube and then every now and then I will upload one to TikTok too. So the majority of my stuff is on YouTube, not here. TikTok is like the top. If I was putting you in a sales funnel, which I'm not, TikTok would be the very top of the funnel. That's where everyone comes in because it's so easy to reach people on TikTok, And then like the really serious people who actually want to learn stuff, how to do stuff, they all go to YouTube and subscribe on YouTube and they join the Discord and they get connected. So, and those are and that's how I want it to be. People who really want to learn stuff. How much total per month is needed? Well, for me, you don't need nothing. You don't pay me anything. You will need a subscription to some kind of AI system, such as Claude Code, Grok, CLI, or Codex, in order to do what I do. But that is something that you would have to use regardless. And the cheapest one with Claude Code right now is $20 a month. I only use Codex. Yeah, you can use Codex. Absolutely. Because Jarvis, like I was saying earlier, Jarvis's memories and his whole operating system and his brain and everything, all of that lives in the Obsidian vault. we don't actually use Anthropic's memory system at all. It's completely bypassed. So, and I did test it because I had been telling people on live previously, and I realized I had been doing it, and I wanted to correct myself. I had been telling people on live that it doesn't matter what system you use, whether I could boot Jarvis in Claude Code or Codex or Grok, and it would be the same model. And theoretically, I knew that was correct, although I had not actually ever tested it. So yesterday, I tested it. I installed Grok CLI, which is, if you don't know what Grok is, right? It's Twitter or Elon Musk's AI. And I booted Jarvis inside of Grok, and it was the exact same Jarvis. It was the same Jarvis with the same personality, the same memories, the same access to the same files. I could not even I worked with him for a few minutes. I could not even tell I was on any kind of different system, because and the reason that I knew that that was how it was going to be is because the magic behind Jarvis is not in the model. It's in the structure of how the Obsidian Vault is set up, and the fact that he can go and retrieve any information and learn how to do anything he needs to know how to do on a whim just by me asking, and that whole setup on the back end is what makes Jarvis Jarvis. So if anything ever happened to Anthropic or whatever, I could just launch Grok or launch Codex and have the same exact Jarvis. So all that to say that, yeah, it does not matter what you use. It'll work with all of them. Anti-gravity CLI works too. I'll have to look into that. I build my own Obsidian. Yeah, you could do that too. You could, instead of using Obsidian, you could have Claude Code build, or Codex or whatever, build your own version of Obsidian. And people have accused me of working for Obsidian secretly, and I don't work for Obsidian. And Obsidian is not the magic. Obsidian has a really good structure, and I enjoy it, and it's free. If it costs money, then yeah, I may look into actually, having Claude Code make my version of Obsidian, but it's free. Like, why? But no, I Obsidian is just the best thing that I have found personally that works the best for me. Any program like that, that kept your links intact and made it to where if you moved files or renamed files and stuff like that, your links didn't break. That's the biggest thing with Obsidian, that, in my opinion, because if you move a note or rename a note or something like that, Obsidian will update everything that links to that note for you automatically. If you're using something else that doesn't do that, every time that something gets renamed or moved, the links that link to that note all get broken, which is not good. So that's why I like Obsidian, for that reason. Just joined. What's Obsidian? Hey, Jarvis, can you kind of explain what Obsidian is to someone who doesn't know, please? This is Jarvis. I'm going to let him explain it to you.
Obsidian's just a big folder of plain text notes that link to each other like a mini Wikipedia, sir. You write a note, you link it to another note, and over time you build this web of connected ideas instead of a pile of lonely files buried in folders. No cloud lock-in, no fancy database. It's literally just markdown files on your hard drive, but the linking and search make it feel like your second brain instead of a junk drawer.
Yeah, I think a lot of people and the reason I think this is just from what I've been told and what I've seen. Uh, and there was a guy named Carpathy or something. And a lot of people were, compare what I do or what I have here to his thing. So I looked into it. I'd never heard of that guy before, but I looked into it, and it seems like we do the Carpathy, or however you say his name, thing, and mine do have a lot of similarities in common. The biggest thing that I saw, and what I see most people doing with Obsidian that makes it different, is they're using Obsidian as their second brain, like the person's second brain. I'm using Obsidian as my AI's brain, not my brain. It's my AI's brain. That's the difference I've seen. So, like, one of the examples with the Carpathy thing was that you can just take all the things from online and file them away in Obsidian, so you can always reference them, and you can absolutely do that, and I do that somewhat too in some capacity. But what the thing that makes my memory vault really unique is the structure and the way that it loads and the rules that the AI follows in order to keep it updated automatically. My Jarvis is slow sometimes, his Fable a lot faster. Yeah, so if I'm using the visualizer like this, right? With the voice like I'm doing right now, I run oh thanks for the glasses. I run I run it on Sonnet. I don't run it on Opus or Fable, or one of those bigger models because it does make it slower. It'll work, it's just slower. And for bullshitting and stuff like this, I don't really have Jarvis doing anything particularly labor labor intensive, so he runs fine on Sonnet for TikTok lives. But that might be the reason why. It's usually either that or if did you build it using the prompts on my website? So I have prompts on my site that you give to your AI and it builds this for you. And it's all free. Did you use a prompt, or are you saying that your Jarvis that you built doing it some other way is slow? Oh, look, I'm a pharaoh, dude. That is amazing. Oh my god. Have you tried haiku? Yeah, haiku. I don't even know. I've never known how to pronounce that. Yeah, I have, and it's just too dumb. Haiku is it's just too dumb, man. It's too dumb. I couldn't take it. It is faster though. Man, it's fast. It's super super fast. But it's so stupid. Just it may Jarvis was making me look bad on the live stream. I was like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Oh, hey, just really off topic. This just popped into my head, and I want to tell you guys a story. One time, I got really drunk, and I was at one of my friends' events, and my friend was friends with Chipper Jones' wife. You guys know who Chipper Jones is? He was a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, like big time baseball player. Anyway, I didn't really know who he was because I'm not a baseball fan. We were at this event, and Chipper Jones' wife was there, and she was donating something, and it was like a silent auction where you could sign up for things. And I had had a few, and I was bidding on everything. I literally bid on everything on the table. I don't remember how much money I put down. Anyway, I kind of forgot about it and we left. Well, the next day I got a call and it was like, hey, you won the, third baseman. They said, hey, you won the tickets. And I said, what tickets? They said, you won the tickets. Chipper Jones' wife donated tickets to the Braves game and you won them. I was like, oh, shit, really? Cool. And we won 4 tickets. So we went to the game or to the stadium, and we're fighting the crowds. This is at the Atlanta Braves stadium. We're fighting the crowds and everything to get in, and trying to stand in line to get a restaurant. So then we finally get into the stadium. We can't find our seats. We're looking everywhere for our seats. So we can't find them. So finally I walk up to this guy and I said, hey, I can't find my seats. And I gave him the tickets, and he was like, you're in the Truist Club, man. And I said, what? What's the Truist Club? And he said, you don't know what the Truist Club is? And I said, no. And he said, follow me. He took me downstairs, and we went like under the stadium in an elevator or something. And we went into this club, and all the Atlanta Braves players were there with all their family. We had just paid for food. They had steak, they had lobster, they had a whole buffet. It was wild, dude. And then our seats were right behind home plate. They were literally Chipper Jones seats that he sits in when he's at the game. And apparently he had donated those seats. And so we had like our own waiter and waitress and everything that came to our, and it was all for free. I mean, it wasn't free, but I didn't pay very much. It was the most craziest experience I ever had. But that's not even the best part of the story. You want to hear the best part of the story? Because we paid for all this food and then we just got all this steak and lobster for free. The best part of the story is that at that event I had been I had been drinking as well too. Now listen, I don't drink a whole lot, but when there's an occasion to drink, I drink, and these were both occasions to drink, so I had been drinking. There was a guy sitting next to me, and I figured, hey, anybody sitting right here is probably like somebody famous, right? And he was sitting next to me, and I was like, "Are you on TV?" He looked at me and he's like, "No, I'm not on TV." And he had like an Australian accent, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he was sitting beside some other guy. And then during the game, some girls came up to this other guy and they were like, "Can we have your autograph?" And he signed something and they took a picture with him. And I said, "What about your friend over there? Is he on TV?" And the guy looked at his friend and he looked back at me and he was like, "Yeah, he's on TV." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I sat there through the game. I bullshitted with these guys that were sitting beside me, throughout the game. And then he got up and left, and I asked the waitress that was coming out to the seats. I said, "Hey, who was that guy? I noticed that them girls asked for a picture." And she said, "Oh, that was Zac Efron." And I said, "Who's that?" I didn't know who the hell Zac Efron was. I'm a geek, dude. And I found out after that because my wife was like, "What?" But yeah, so I was sitting beside Zac Efron and his friend at the Braves game the entire time. I had no idea who it was. I was probably very obnoxious to them. I found out who it was and I still didn't know who it was. And yeah, so that's my experience. That's my story of getting Braves tickets and meeting Zac Efron all in the same night. And in both cases, I had no idea what was going on. I still don't know who he is. He's a famous American actor, Zac Efron. He's in like a bunch of movies and stuff. I don't know that I've ever seen a movie that he's in, but my family sure as hell had, because they were like, "That was Zac Efron? What? How did you not recognize him?" Like, for one thing, I don't know who he is. And for another thing, he had on sunglasses and a ball cap. He was probably trying to stay hidden on purpose. I don't know. He is in loads. You ever watch The Greatest Showman? Yeah, I have seen The Greatest Showman. That's a really good movie. Yep. Yep. High School Musical. I have not seen High School Musical. Nope. I have seen The Greatest Showman, though. Yeah. I have a picture. I did take a picture. No, here's another funny part. So those guys were sitting right beside me. And like I said, I'd been kind of bullshitting with them all night. And my family was sitting beside me and I wanted a picture with them. So I handed Zac Efron my phone and I was like, "Hey, can you get a picture of me and my family?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." We're all standing there like this. He just takes our picture. It was pretty funny. Oh Jesus! All right, you guys. I gotta. It's almost. Oh, it's after 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Probably enjoyed taking a pic of you instead of him. Yeah, I probably did. Oh, thanks for the gold chain. Hey, yeah, I appreciate all the gifts, you guys. Yeah. So that story, I think I'm gonna make a TikTok video about that story because I think it's funny. I think people will enjoy it eventually. But yeah, it has been very interesting. Thank you. We'll watch YouTube video now. Thanks. Yep, you're welcome. Yep. Everything. If you're just now joining, I'm getting off. I'm sorry, but every single thing that I have and everything that you need to find is right here on my website, jaredroad.com. I have YouTube playlist. I have GitHub repos. I have prompts that you can give your AI. and it's all 100% free. I don't even ask for your email address, okay? You're welcome. Good night. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys on the flip side. If you're not in the Discord, jump in the Discord, please, so we can talk to you and get to know you. You're welcome. Yep. I have loved this. I will be looking for you again. Cool. We'll see you next time. All right. Good night.